Hi guys, this is Jean Holden, producer of the show, and I just wanted to take a minute to let you know where you can find us on the internet. Please go to ThatMan on Fatman.com. There you can find out all the things you need to know about the show. You'll be able to find links to the podcast, to YouTube, to Twitter, Facebook, even Instagram and Snapchat. Thank you so much for listening, guys, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Today's show is brought to you by Death Wish Coffee. Death Wish Coffee, the strongest coffee in the world.
This is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, and I want to urge you to make a generous donation to the Wayne Foundation so we can stop the sexual trafficking of children. Do it, or I'll find you.
And don't forget to check out our good friend of the show, Mark Live, over at chundertunes.com for all your podcast animation needs. ThatMan on Fatman is recorded with a Zoom H6 handy recorder. Zoom for creators.
Disclaimer. The show you're about to experience is for entertainment purposes only. The hosts use mature language and conversation just like in most of life. If you're too uptight, this might not be for you. All that said, we really do hope you enjoy the show. But if you don't enjoy it, expect a nice big shipment of my joyous Joker juice on your doorstep in the very near future. Toodles!
As the world's biggest Kevin Smith fan, I appreciate the fact that somebody finally made a podcast about that interesting motherfucker. So, yes, you absolutely did the right thing. It was smart. I appreciate it. I think you were right to do that.
Okay, what has two thumbs and is a huge fan of Kevin Smith? ThatMan!
Yes, I am ThatMan.
What are we going to do about the pancake master?
We need a costumed vigilante is what we need. Justice can't be served unless it's being fought outside the system.
Here's what we're going to do, eh?
Oh, shit. It's ThatMan. Who is he? He's ThatMan. He's talking. What should we do?
Oh, there he goes by in the Thatmobile.
The what? Thatmobile, his car. Go get him, ThatMan.
Well, once upon a time, a regular man read a book written by the Fat Man. Tough shit, written by old Kev Smith. Kev said go out and start a podcast, and so I did, and I had a real blast. But my obsession was driving my co-host nuts. Didn't want to bring the podcast down. Needed Porkchop Murphy to hang around. So I created a new show with one heck of a plan, and I'd call that show ThatMan on Fatman, because we're going to chat about Kevin Smith. That's right, let's talk about old Kev Smith.
Yes, please note that use of all sound effects is done ironically.
Hey everybody, and welcome to this episode 3-25 of ThatMan on Fatman. I am Scott Holden, and as usual, I am here in the That Cave with co-host and producer extraordinaire, Jean Holden.
Hey, guys.
Wow, you sound better to me.
Ooh, thank you.
As usual.
Thank you.
Let me see if I can tweak things so we get us about even.
Tweak yourself.
Yes, I think I need to tweak you a little bit. But yeah.
You can tweak me anytime.
Yes. There we go. So, wow. Okay. It's been a couple weeks since we've put a show out. And since that time, man, we've been very, very busy.
Whoa.
And I think the bulk of the show is going to be sharing our, last couple weeks experience with you folks out there.
Y'all. Yes.
Yes. So, I don't know,
so
man.
How should we start?
Well, I guess when last we left our audience, we had just, I don't even know. I guess we talked about how we were going out to West to shoot.
Right.
Pardon me.
And that actually happened.
And yes, something that I very much enjoy when we actually do something we say we're going to do, because it was touch and go there for a little bit.
It was it's very, what's the word, tumultuous.
Yes, it was crazy because Like, even up until the last week, there was a chance that we might not go.
I know.
But
we had so many people
helping
pulling
us
for
out.
us and helping us, family, friends out in California, New Jersey, everywhere.
Yeah, so we managed to pull this trip off, get a lot of footage for the documentary we're working on.
Yeah,
What's
and
a
without a
Podcast?
hitch, really. Without a hitch, really. It went really well.
Went pretty smooth. One of the downsides was Damien was not able to attend with us, just for a confluence of
I know.
issues, and that was a big bummer, because the truth was the thought of him coming made the whole trip much more exciting.
And it made it better.
Yeah, and the fact
really,
that he
makes
couldn't
it...
come definitely put a damper on
I know.
part of the journey.
Yes.
But so there it was. It was essentially the two of us going out to
I know.
Los Angeles.
On Friday.
And we left Friday. What date was
the
that?
26th.
The 26th?
Oh, yeah. It's like etched in my mind because the 26th was like over and over and over with the plane tickets.
It was crazy because we flew out of JFK, which is about an hour drive from us, maybe 90 minutes sometimes, depending
maybe
on traffic.
A little, yeah.
Somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
And
bright and early.
Yeah, because we had a 6 a.m. flight. We had to wake up at like 2 a.m.
Yeah, but you know what? That was the best way to go. I would do that again.
Yep.
That time. JFK was crazy. JFK is huge.
It's a big airport. It's much bigger than Newark, which we're used to flying out of.
But I'm telling you, no traffic. We flew down the highways.
Yeah. So my brother took us down to the airport.
Yes. Thanks, Stephen.
Yes. And, our flight was packed, but we got off the ground without a hitch. We landed in Los Angeles.
Yeah, 9 a.m.
Yep. Where we were met by
Big Daddy.
One and only
Big Daddy Jimmy V.
Big Daddy Jimmy V.
And his green monster that we thought was going to be some like green.
Yeah, we thought it would be like a 1976
ugly
Nova,
shitmobile
with rust spots and.
But it was this cute little Kia Soul, and I loved it. I've been in one before, and it's the cutest car ever.
And Gene is talking about it like it's a rental, but the reason why is because after Mr. V picked us up, we headed to L.A., but eventually he was going to loan us said Kia Soul to make our way around town for the various shoots and stuff we had to do.
For the whole week.
Oh, my God. Talk about, the power of podcasting, the power of social media, the power of friendship.
The community, family.
Yeah, man. Like, without social media, I don't know that would have been possible. That would have been more expense we would have had to put out.
Well, and the trust that he had in us.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very amazing. And I'm glad that we didn't in any way upset that trust by smashing his car up or
and his wonderful wife, Mary.
Driving it around on the beach and getting a little sandy.
I kind of want to keep it, so he picked us up. We went back to his place.
Where?
It's about, 40 minutes, half hour?
About an hour. Everything.
It was
well, first
longer
of all,
getting back because now it's rush hour.
First thing we learned, L.A. traffic. Now, there's a bit of a stigma, a bit of a cliche.
And it's true.
And it's 100% true.
It's always
because
traffic.
It's like there are, dual 6-lane highways, one going one way, so 12 lanes, and they are just congested and moving very slowly at many hours of the day.
But it's a good idea to have two people in the car because you can get around a lot quicker. So maybe pick up a hitchhiker along the way or whatever.
Yeah, or
but just drive
as Greg Grumberg from this week's Geeking Out mentioned, keep a plaster cast or bust of yourself in the seat.
Yeah, because then you could just go. Go.
Except for you get pulled over.
But it does really go. You go most of the time.
In New Jersey, like the very short time that they had HOV lanes in effect, many people were busted for driving with mannequins and stuff.
They have like a dummy in the car.
Yep.
It's my girlfriend, officer.
So, anyway, California, lots of traffic.
Lots of people.
Any folks out there, you know that.
It's huge.
It's such a weird, I've never been any place like it.
I know.
Never.
I know.
It's a city, but it's spread out, so it doesn't feel like a city that you know.
Right.
There are mountains jutting up in the middle of the city,
beautiful.
in all over spots.
And all of the,
even though it's Los Angeles, they still have wildlife and like scenic views and
the palm trees and like the homes are like different.
Yeah, I love that. Well, that's funny because I like the fact that there doesn't seem to be a lot of standards in terms of architecture and
Right.
design. Anybody can kind of do their own thing, and I love that because then you'll find all different kinds of
Right.
buildings next to each other that don't necessarily match.
It's
and
not like a Stepford
everything.
community.
Everything is very eclectic.
Right.
Whereas,
Right. And it's very relaxed.
yeah.
It's very
Oh,
relaxed.
yeah, there's definitely laid back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot looser. I don't know. It just seems a lot looser and just kind
well,
of
and the
chill.
weather's generally always the same. I guess it could be
really
easy
nice.
to fall into a pattern of everything's going to be all right.
Right. And I'm not like I don't like hot weather. I'm not really a hot weather person. But when I was there, I didn't really feel hot. Like I felt like comfortable. I don't know. It was just a comfortable.
It's the humidity thing. It really is.
And the humidity, hair is very better. It's a lot better there.
Oh, yeah.
Hair days.
There's very little.
No. Hair days on your head. Like hair days are better there.
That's
just
something I'm
because
not.
The humidity.
I've never really been that concerned about.
Well, mine, like with curls, it's just not good. With humidity, it just kind of makes you look like you've got huge hair, and it's just not good. But in LA, it was great.
Yeah.
Great hair days.
Yeah. Well,
Perfect.
the funny thing is, even though we're giving you this big blowout of what LA was like, we really, at first, didn't spend much time in LA. We were driving through.
Right, let's go.
So we went to Big Daddy Jimmy V's
Right.
place, and we met his lovely wife, Maren.
Who's
who is-
delightful.
Yeah, she's really
Very sweet.
A cool cat. She's very into Pokemon Go right now, man.
Uh-huh.
She was Pokemon going like crazy during the
Right.
trip.
On our way to Vegas.
Yeah. She was absolutely adorable with that thing.
She was so cute. And that was a long drive.
So we got off a plane, got into a car, went to a place, picked someone up, got into another car, got into the car again, and then drove 4 hours to Las Vegas. Now, many of you out there know I am a bit of a video gamer. I enjoy particularly the Fallout series. Now, as we drove to Vegas, there were things that I just didn't realize were real. And then, so at one point, I see us, and I knew this was real, but it was just cool to see it. Now, anyone who's played Fallout New Vegas, there's a mission where you have to go to the solar collector and collect mirrors. Well, we were driving by that very solar collector, and it was like, holy shit, I've run missions in there. I walked around here. But that was nothing compared to the absolute just shock I got when we drove past Prim. That's right.
Oh,
if
my
you've
God.
played if you played New Vegas, you know Prim. You know the roller coaster. You know the sniper up there with the stealth boy.
Can I tell you guys, it's like being in the back seat with a kid, just like going through like the biggest candy store you've ever
Oh my
seen.
God, I was
And wanting
so
everything.
psyched. I
He
was like,
was
oh my
like-
God, it's real.
It's like, oh my
There's a
God, look
roller
at that.
co-
Oh my
look,
God, look at that. Oh my God, look
the
at that.
roller coaster doesn't work. Oh,
I know.
it's just like in a game.
I know, like so like being in like the best thing ever for a kid, and he was just like, oh my God, it was adorable and hysterical too. It was really
so
funny.
Prim was sort of a highlight
It was.
of that part of the journey. And on the way back, we stopped there. But on the first pass, we just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Now, we had heard that the dinosaurs from the Pee Wee place were on the drive,
yeah.
but they're not.
But they were off.
They're
They
on
were-
a different drive.
Yeah, they were off where we were.
But we did get to see a once closed a now closed once dangerous water park that once existed on the
we
route.
did.
And so, I mean,
It's a
interesting
very
drive.
cool and a beautiful drive.
And it was cool because you hear a lot about that drive.
Yeah.
And what was interesting to me is on the way back, I sort of kind of remembered the pacing of what came when.
Right.
So
And like people that live
seem
off
like
the
a back break. It didn't seem like an arduous
Yeah.
journey.
And people that live off the grid, like
Oh,
or like
yeah.
have their own
Yeah,
electricity.
there's a lot of these places where you go, if you live there,
I know.
what the fuck do you do?
What do you do?
You're in the middle of nowhere.
Oh my God.
But then we got to Vegas.
Masturbate? I don't know.
Finally. Yeah, I mean, that's all you would do. She'd be shooting blanks after no time. Oh, I shot air.
I know, because there's nothing else to do. There's nothing else in there.
Yeah, so then you get to Vegas.
Yeah, we got there at like, what was it, like 5 or something like that? 5 p.m.
Yeah, we got there around 5,
Crazy.
and we checked out so this was part of what was called the Why Not Con, and Why Not
Yeah.
Con was essentially a big podcasting party for a weekend.
All right, so we have the names. You ready? These
All
are
right.
the guys.
Well, not all of these people who participated were actually there.
Yeah, I know the
though.
ones that were there, though. Afterburn 739,
They were there.
and that's Kitty and Leo.
Yep.
And then From Ear to Table is Big Daddy. FYFC is the
Folks from
Canadian
Canada.
podcast.
Yep, those 3 folks. I don't remember their names off the top of my head. They were very nice. We met
Podcast
them
of Two Worlds.
that
is
evening,
the
I think, over
Flash.
dinner.
Yes.
Yes. It's like 3 guys who do that.
Mm-hmm. That's the Flash podcast.
Yes.
Those guys are funny. We
Yeah.
actually stayed next
They
to
were
them.
they were kind of young Turks.
Yeah,
trying
they
to
were
get
cute.
laid and all kinds of craziness.
Yeah, they were adorable. That Man on Fatman is awesome.
I don't know how you try and get laid and don't succeed.
I don't know how they couldn't. They're adorable.
I don't know. Well, I guess if you think it through, you're like, well, where are you going to bring... If you try and pick someone up, where are you going to bring them back to? Oh, we got this place. It's loaded with other podcasts.
No, but you're in Vegas.
You have to share a bedroom with
You're
us.
in Vegas. You can just rent a room like in one of the hotels.
Sure you could, but do you think those guys are going to do that? When they already had a room?
I don't know. They were pretty drunk.
Yeah, I think really... It was an ill-laid plan.
But how do you know that's what they were doing?
Because someone told me that's what
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I remember hearing them say it when they were out in the backyard.
No, but I have
smoking.
I saw them. I know what they look like. They would have no problem getting laid because they're
they're
cute.
young guys.
Yeah. They would have no problem.
Well,
Anyway,
I guess they did because they didn't.
I hope you guys did. The Dave podcast.
No, they didn't because they got in at 4. Remember, they woke us up.
Oh, yeah, heaving. No. We were already up when they started. So, Dave podcast, Mr. BS show. And
yes, which was
Vegas,
Matt. His
right.
wife came.
Right.
Also, Steve the Knight.
Yeah, right. Stephen Knight was there.
Yeah.
And then Vegas Aces Heather. She was there the one night. She didn't
Yes.
stay the whole time, but she stayed for the podcast.
And that was a little crazy.
Yeah, that was a crazy night.
Yes.
So that's the group. Everyone's name, I don't 100% know, but I remember everybody.
Yes. Wait, what about Chris?
Chris was there.
Yes, from the Dave podcast,
Uh-huh.
and also his partner from that, which is OC Caveman.
Yes,
Was also
OC
there.
Caveman. Yeah, Octopus Caveman.
Yes. Do we miss anyone else? No.
I know there's people
I'd
that
hate to
we're
leave someone
missing.
out that we.
No, because we just said everybody.
Yes.
Bold and belligerent. I don't know what they are. I don't think
I don't
they
think
were
they
there.
came.
Yeah.
I don't think
And alternate endings.
Yeah, I don't think.
Popcorn with candy. Were they
Although, I think some members may be multiple members
Oh,
of
okay.
shows, so it might be like one guy
Okay.
was there representing several shows. I'm not sure.
Yeah. But we stayed in an Airbnb.
Yeah, we
all
stayed
of
in a
us.
big sort of.
It was great.
It was like a 7-bedroom
It was
house
really
or
nice.
something.
It was a nice place.
Yeah.
But there were cum stains on this couch, they were saying. But I don't...
They don't know that they're that.
But I think that I think someone knew for a fact.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they had to cover the sofa with, a sheet or something to... It's like... And then there's a foreclosure sign out in the front.
Yeah, that was the other. So we could tell what's going on
But
here.
it turned out to be great.
Yeah, I mean,
And
even
the
though it was
back-
foreclosing,
The back was great.
he's renting out his foreclosed place.
You could hang out in the
I'm pretty sure
back.
none of that. I'm pretty sure none of the money that guy made will make it into the mortgage.
That's all right. We don't care. But there's the pool in the back. There's a nice place to hang out and smoke and just gather and drink or whatever you want to do. So there's plenty of time
and
to
there was a
hang.
lot of all of those activities going on.
There was a lot of everything.
So much so that I think that if you look at Big Daddy Jimmy V, he printed up shirts for the event, and above Why Not Con is like a microphone, a movie thing because we were shooting, and a pot leaf.
It's a pot leaf. I didn't notice the
Should
pot
have
leaf.
been a fucking
right away.
beer can.
Yeah. There should have been like a case of beer in there.
Oh my
too.
god, they were just
But there was smoking going on too.
tipping it.
They were.
Yeah.
Hey.
So Friday when we got there, it was so funny because Steve, many of you
Steve.
know as Midnight Smoke. Yeah, so Midnight Smoke was pretty wasted when we got there.
Midnight Oil.
And it was weird because we were going out to dinner. Was this the first night?
The first night we took an Uber to Vegas.
Yeah.
And we were going to dinner.
Into the Strip.
Yeah, we were going
Down the Strip.
yeah. So,
we went and got ripped off at a buffet. Totally my fault.
yeah, because you were, you wanted to try the buffet. I didn't think it was horrendous. I didn't think it was
It
bad.
wasn't good. It wasn't that
But,
good. It was the worst buffet ever.
I don't know.
The only thing good was the crepe.
You know what? It's like I don't eat as much as I used to for a buffet
yeah,
anymore.
Buffet. Thank you.
It's a waste of money. Like we could have gotten
we
one.
spent like way too much money.
We could have gotten one and just shared it.
Yeah, truly.
So anyway, but when you go to Vegas, just keep your eye out and try maybe, but don't really
stay away
make
from
a
the
definite
buffets.
with the buffet.
They're bullshit.
But anyway, before we even left,
maybe breakfast would have been better.
Steve is sitting. Yeah, I like breakfast way more. Steve was sitting on the curb, and I kind of saw him a little bit, and he was starting to look a little like greenish.
And then he just got up and realized.
He got up, and I'm telling you.
He's like, I'm not going.
Kudos.
I can't go anywhere.
Right, kudos,
I need
though.
to go lay down.
Because it's better that he did that. Because it could have gotten. The weekend would have been worse if he didn't.
Yeah.
Because I think he smoked a little bit and maybe drank a little bit
too much.
So I think sometimes the combination doesn't really go too well. But he stayed.
Yeah, he hung out, and then as a result, he was fully functional
Right.
for the rest of the
and
weekend.
And all night, I was like, do you think he's okay? And like, yeah, he's fine. And they kept saying, oh, God, he's fine. But I'm thinking, God, he's all by himself in a house he's never been in. He's like, oh, he's fine.
And then next thing you know, the other guys came in there anyway.
Yeah, and he was fine.
Yeah,
he was fine.
They started drinking everyone else's beer. That was the once again the guys from the Flash of Two Worlds podcast.
Yeah,
they arrived late, and we were all at dinner, so they started rating the beers.
Right. I love that they do that show. I love the Flash. I do, and I told them like 100 times, and they want us on their show. Yay!
So yeah, day one we pretty much just sort of hit the strip. We walked, we ate, we kind of saw what was going on. We didn't really do much, and we just kind of did the strip and walked around a bit, and then went back to the room.
Right, and we walked by where we would have seen Britney Spears at Planet Hollywood, but we didn't get to see her because she's in New York. That's all right.
We got to see, just like in every other tourist spot, like in 42nd Street and in Los Angeles, you had Dirty Spider-Man and Dirty Pikachu and Dirty whatever.
Dirty Wonder Woman.
And by dirty, I mean they're literally covered in dirt most of the time.
A
lot of cosplayers, a lot of naked girls, or scantily, like painted so that like their nips aren't showing, but otherwise they're pretty much naked.
And tassels. Oh, I'm sorry, that was Steve the Knight. Sorry,
no. Well, there were tassels there too.
And coconut boobs.
Yes, and coconut boobs, which were gifts from Steve the Knight to all the ladies in the house.
And then Scott's like, "Thank you so much for those coconut boobs."
Yes, because later Gene tried them on, and they look quite good.
That was cute.
Quite a thrill.
So, I mean, Friday night was fun. We ate, we hung out. That's when we met the FYFC guys from Canada.
Yeah, that's the only time we actually met them. And I had a very brief but very cool conversation because I was like, so you guys are from Canada. I was recently up in Canada, and I gave them my little dissertation. I've said it on the air a few times, but I'll say it again now for those who haven't heard it. And it's essentially, I was amazed when I'm up in Canada because what I noticed was, up in Canada, they fix shit.
Right.
Something's broken in the system, whatever, healthcare, whatever. They fix it.
Right.
Banking. They fix it so it doesn't fuck them over again, and it's fixed, and they move on. Whereas in this country, we fight, and we fight, and we fight, and one side just fights the other so that the other side doesn't win, and it just becomes, everything has become a clusterfuck where nothing gets done.
Right.
And then the Canadians looked at me and they go, one of the guys was like, you're absolutely right. You just summed up like the last 10 years in the States for what we've seen.
That's right.
It's totally true.
All we do is blame over here.
Yeah, all we do is point the finger at the other fucking party or whatever, and nothing gets done.
Yeah.
And there's such vitriol. So that they were like, yeah, that's totally true.
Yeah.
So they were good folks, funny people.
They were.
Yeah, it was 3 of them, 2 men and a female.
Yeah, I don't remember
2
their
guys
names.
and a girl. Yeah,
is one of them Fear or something? The name Fear?
I'm not even sure. There could be nicknames. I feel.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's hard to remember everyone's name.
Yeah,
they get it.
Yes.
FYFC podcast.
Yes, check them out. They're Canadian.
Yeah.
What other reason do you need?
Yeah.
Eh? So, that was our dinner, and Friday night, relatively uneventful. Basically, meat, mixing.
Yeah, it was fun.
Then Saturday came. Saturday was a little more busy on the agenda because we actually we filmed some podcasting. And first there was, I think the Flash of Two Worlds did a podcast in the living room, and we kind of taped that. Also set up for interviews, which just didn't happen. And then we ended up going out to film. I forget whose show it was. I think it was the Mr. BS show. But they were doing it in this weird, like, zombie. What was it? It was it was like a themed event,
right,
where you pretend to be someone who's, you go shooting zombies.
Yeah, you're like a trained
killer. You're a zombie killer. You're essentially you're doing a Walking Dead, a live type of Walking Dead sort of thing.
Right.
Or, you're in a live version of a zombie movie.
Yeah.
And I guess it was Steve who was participating.
It was Steve, Chris. And was there a third person in there?
I'm not even sure, but I know they mic'd them up.
Oh, you know who it was? I think it was one of the guys from the BS show.
Yeah.
Another guy from the BS show was there.
Now, we filmed the podcast in the general waiting area.
Like the waiting area, which was...
it's a big room.
Right.
It's almost, very large.
Right.
Lots of space for people to hang out. But the show itself, or the performance, whatever you want to call it, was very, very loud.
It was. A lot of...
we had no warning for what it was going to be like, so I'm sure most of the footage during the podcast, other than those guys' actual podcast, our footage probably sounds awful.
All right, we're going to start with this one. Sheboygan Scanner. Provolone.
I don't know why I'm shooting. I don't know shit. Because it's just loaded with noise and gunshots and explosions and sound effects and weirdness
and screaming.
That it's just I don't know how
it might be all right.
Well, that'll transfer to film, but it was an interesting thing to be a part of and
definitely
see
a cool place.
It was much more of a to-do than I thought it was going to be.
And it was definitely
I thought it was going to be like one of those goofy zombie runs or something.
It was a more put-together place. It was definitely
very much so.
Arranged for events.
Yeah, because the guys come in and they're acting essentially.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, come on!" Like as if zombies are real. We're sitting there filming in the middle of it.
And I was chatting with I have her card in my purse.
One of the women who worked there.
Yeah, the girl who actually is the photographer while they're doing it. So she takes all the pictures, and when you get the picture after you're done, she's the one who is the photographer. And she was awesome too. It was just a really cool place.
Yeah.
Okay, so she was adorable. The place is called Adventure Combat Ops, and Dora Lynn was the photographer. It's in Vegas. It's a really cool place.
So if you get to Vegas, you want to do some zombie hunting and killing.
It's the way
you could do worse.
They call it like an apocalyptic combat simulation. That's pretty much what it is.
So yes, it's the zombie hunt.
It's a zombie hunt. It's cool though.
Or zombie survival.
Yeah. Well, the guys were into it. The guys that were doing it.
Yeah.
So
then we headed back to we might have done that first, and then recorded some podcasts back.
Oh yeah, I think we did that first.
I probably have it.
It was a long day.
Yeah,
it was a long day.
Then the main event was Afterburn did a big podcast, which I believe dropped yesterday.
Yeah, like a group. Everyone was in it.
Yeah, essentially everyone was in it. I'm not early in it because I'm filming.
I was in it a little bit.
Yeah, Gene's in it. And so it's like a round robin. And it was a big event, and we filmed the whole thing. There was a lot of jokes, and it gives you a good idea of the party atmosphere and the vibes that were going on during the show. So it was a good time.
It was.
And then what was even crazier was after that all finished, it was probably like 10 or 11 o'clock.
Right.
And everyone's like, now we're going out again.
Yeah.
And which we were like, we're not going.
And we were old and retired.
We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
We're going to hang out here and just chill, which we did. And eventually. And
I think Big Daddy did too that night.
Yeah, he did too. A lot of people did.
We hung out. We just hung.
Yeah, ended up just chilling back at the ranch.
Yep.
But then some of those guys did go out and they had a good time. They played some fucking...
Oh, that sounded like...
Yeah, that's the thing that stunk. Like, Chris Kim knew a game that you could play with slots, with a group, where everybody put in a little bit of money.
That
and you go
been
slot to slot. And it was much more of a fun environment, a party sort of atmosphere than just gambling.
Yeah, because you know what happens? Like, I know with me, it's like anxiety.
Yeah.
When I'm gambling. If it's a group thing, I feel like there's like...
This sounded like it had the ambiance of a craps table.
Yeah.
Like floating around different, one-armed bandits.
Right, and it's more fun. You're not like tense about losing.
Yeah,
like,
and everybody only puts in $10 apparently,
yeah.
so
See,
it's like $60 for the total pot. And, it's... I don't know exactly how it worked, but it's when they told us, we were like, oh, shit, that would have been fun to be a part of.
But we know for the next time. All the stuff that happened, we know for the next time that we'll do.
And next time, we won't be shooting anything.
Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting.
Made it a very work vacation.
Yeah, well, but
it wasn't...
Yeah.
It was very busy.
Well, the trip was more like work focused.
Yes, very much so.
But we did get to do a lot of fun stuff.
It just so happens that work is fun.
Yeah, we did have a lot of fun.
And
you get to do things while you're working. That's fun.
So that was Saturday night, and that was a blast. And
it was just a nice place because even staying in the Airbnb wasn't like hell because you just had so much to do there.
Yeah.
Like you could go outside, you could go in the pool, you could just hang out in the place. It was a very open house.
Yes. There was a kitchen.
And everyone's walking around, and then you just stop and talk to someone.
One night, it was probably Saturday night, I think I filmed a cooking segment.
Yeah.
Well, it was Saturday morning because he was making chili early in the morning.
Yes.
The only thing that stinks is I didn't get the the finished product. I didn't get any footage of the finished product. So it's cooking, and no result.
Yeah. But it was delicious, though, that chili.
Yes, it was.
Really, I had a chili dog, and it was amazing.
It was good. I just had the chili.
It was really good.
Yes. All right, so... Oh, and the cake.
Oh, my God, Marin.
Marin had a cake. Well, she didn't bake it herself, but she, went and had it made.
Well, we had a little girls' outing that morning. We went to the store, and then she was telling me about it. And I was like, I didn't know about this cake yet. So she actually, she planned it. She researched the Vegas bakeries. She found a place that was like, I swear to God, like 5 minutes from the house. And they actually made a cake like you would see, like on Cake Boss.
Yeah.
Like that type of cake.
Very much so.
And had every single podcast name on that cake.
Yep. And then around the edges, it had each logo done in some sort of like sugar.
All the logos, but the actual
like
logos.
Like on a little sugar plate.
Yeah, and why not Con?
And you could eat it.
Why not Con Year One right on the front?
Yeah.
And we're I'm sure there's pictures posted, but we'll picture.
I got footage of the whole, I went around it like 16 times.
Yeah.
To get a nice clean shot of the cake.
And it was just like so sweet and special. What if and to think about that, like such like a specific thing to think about. It really made everyone feel really good.
Yeah.
Thanks, Marin. That was so great.
So yeah, we had this beautiful cake and
it was delicious too.
Yes. And that wrapped up night 2
was that Saturday night?
Yeah, that was Saturday night. So Sunday was the drive back.
Right. And we left, I don't know, it was like 10.
Yeah.
We went with Kitty and Leo.
Kitty and Leo, yes.
Yeah.
We drove all the way back.
From Afterburn.
Yes. 4-hour drive. That's when we stopped in Prim.
Oh my
God.
God.
I finally got to actually, walk the streets of Prim. I didn't get to walk out on the roller coaster track and find the guy in the stealth boy.
I don't think they let you do that.
Yeah, so that was a disappointment. But otherwise, it was cool. And hey,
I didn't get the chance to break my legs.
I won all of $38 in Prim.
God,
Thank
did.
you. Which was great because that meant we were up $8.
Yeah.
Because we each gave each other $15 to gamble in Prim.
We really didn't gamble much.
And on my last spin, I hit 30.
You did.
Hit $38, so I won our money back plus 8.
Yeah, I lost everything.
Yes, she lost all $15.
But you know what? I was up 17 and I put it all on whatever, and then I lost it. So
okay. It's funny too because after I hit the 38, I wanted to keep going, and she's like, "No."
When you're ahead, it's better to just take it and go to something else because it's just like it's so depressing when you lose it.
Plus, we had to move on.
It's
anyway.
so sad.
We wanted to get on.
Yeah, no one wants to lose. It's $38. It's not good.
And it's funny because gambling in Prim feels like you're gambling in an old age home.
That's so depressing.
It's just like because why would it's the it's that. It's the first place you can gamble in Vegas. I mean, in Nevada.
It's like people can't wait.
So yeah, it's like your budget house,
and
or
it
whatever.
smells in there.
A lot of penny slots.
It's
and
smelly and dark. I don't know,
oh, come on. It wasn't that smelly.
It's kind of dark, though.
It was. Well, casinos are dark.
It's kind of depressing. I don't know. Casinos are kind of depressing. I mean, I get it.
I agree.
When you're winning, but it's just depressing. Like
they
the
have
carpets.
the smell of loser stink.
Yeah, it's a loser smell. But
right. So, jeez. So we finally got to our. They drove us essentially to Big Daddy Jimmy V's because they had to leave earlier because they had other stuff going on. We got our car, and then we went and we got to what was our Airbnb. Oh boy! Now, okay, we got there at a bad time. First off, it was getting dark.
Yeah. See now things.
It's in North Hollywood.
Let me just say this though.
And
things
my impression
always
of it
appear worse at night.
Oh yeah, and my impression of it was we were staying in a ghetto.
And at night, everything looks so dreary and not as nice as when the sun's shining.
And this was a weird situation.
It was a weird situation.
We don't know what the hell was going on in this place.
This is the first time. Well,
it's our first Airbnb.
We did stay at an Airbnb in Vegas, but this is the first one that we kind of did on our own.
Yeah. So this was essentially we had a clean room with a mishmash of furniture and like a double size box spring with a queen size mattress on top of it that was hard as a rock.
And the sheets didn't fit.
The sheets didn't fit. They were for a double bed, and it was a queen. And on top of everything else, to make it look even more like shit, there was just like a headboard that was like maybe tacked to the wall or something.
And then on behind you, there's a Disney quote saying, "You can dream like
if you dream." Well, I
use
that in a picture
true.
later, but like it just seems so out of
dream
place.
Your dreams, and I'm like, ooh, God.
It seems so an inspirational quote in the middle of a dump just seems right out of place.
Dream your dreams so you can get the hell out of this room.
Out of this place.
Yeah, you can do it.
But it got weirder because by the second night, it was weird because in the kitchen. Like a wooden sectional sectioned off a bedroom, a wooden sectional and a bookcase turned out and loaded with, dishes and stuff.
And like random Disney.
Yeah, knickknacks and stuff. Was the border for one bedroom where I guess a couple of guys lived, I assume gay guys lived year round.
Yeah, they were really adorable.
They were renters. And then there was a back room, another room that was occupied by a couple, but I don't know what the deal was because I don't know if it was them and then a second night it was other people or if it was always them. But
I think it was always them.
By the second night we came out and they were sort of in the living space, like doing makeup,
and then they're
outfits, and it really had all the makings of a porno. They were shooting the porn in that room.
In the living space where we were
not necessarily in the living space. They were at least getting made up in the living space.
Oh, I think they
were shooting in the bedroom because then they would disappear. And then the bedroom door would be closed.
Oh, is that where they went?
Yeah, it's not like I heard a lot of noise either. So, I mean, that's... I don't know.
Quiet. You can be quiet when you do that.
Or you could have other sound. You could have your air conditioner. We had our air conditioner on, which, muted a lot of the noise.
Thank God for that air conditioner.
It was a very weird space, and I freaked out the first night. I thought I was in what the fuck is going on? So that was a little off-putting. But by the third night, I guess we kind of got used to it.
Yeah.
So that's where we stayed. We ended up from Tuesday to Thursday, we were going to do interviews, but let's see. Monday, we went to the Network Studios, which is a network studio that does podcasting in the Los Angeles area. Right. They host a bunch of shows out of there. They have a network, but they also really provides recording services and I guess coaching.
Yeah, and really voiceover stuff you can do there.
Yeah,
it's Mike and Rena Marie,
and they were very nice,
and very very buttoned up place.
We didn't interview them for the show, but we interviewed them for the movie, and they gave us a lot of good stuff. She gave us a lot of stuff about voiceover acting and how to get into that, and just
how she got into podcasting.
And
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 and he's a comedian.
She actually worked with Adam Curry in the beginning as well. So that was some great insight.
A cool connection.
And you all
His
remember
name,
the famous SModcast Adam Curry episode.
His name was thrown around.
Here comes Curry!
Yeah. He's definitely... he's been through...
And when I go down to the Dairy Queen, I have a flurry curry.
Who is that? Who did
that's Mosier and Kevin.
Oh, that's right.
They were, here comes Curry!
Flurry curry.
And when I swear I get all drunk, I become Slurry Curry.
Slurry Curry. I love Scott Mosier.
So there you go. So yeah, we got to talk to those folks. And then, okay, now also we should mention we met up with, we used a local camera operator who also came with gear, which was awesome.
Jason Lowe.
And
do you know his Instagram?
I don't know it off the top of my head.
Okay.
No, but he was from China, and he lived in Seattle for some time, and then seriously, he just came to L.A. because he wants to live his dream and become, a filmmaker and be in films, and he directs and does anime and
with his buddy Oscar. Oscar.
And they just did they're just wrapping up. He's the DP on a documentary about time travel and time, the physics of time and all that kind of stuff. And it's so funny because he has pictures of him with, what's his name? Bill Nye.
Yeah, the science guy.
And then we have pictures of us with Neil deGrasse Tyson. We're like, oh my God.
I wonder if they tried to get Neil for that.
I don't know.
Because time travel, man.
It could be that East Coast, West Coast thing that we've run into. Bill Nye is probably West Coast. And we know that Neil deGrasse Tyson is East Coast.
But
so
he did say that Michio Kaku was in it.
Yeah, he did.
How awesome.
Yeah.
Michio Kaku is cool.
Yeah,
I like him.
Although he's getting a little weird.
He's getting kooky.
In his old age, it seems like he just says things to say things now.
Yeah.
Like he just tries to say crazy things to shock. Like, in the future, everyone will have plants on their heads. And we will have no shoes. We will walk on our hands. I'm a futurist. Anyway, that's a very a very obscure Michio Kaku.
Yeah.
I also want to, if anyone, another cool thing that happened while we were in L.A. was Kevin and Andy were on.
Oh my God!
They were on
Opie and Jim.
Opie and Jim. They filled in for them.
They did such a great job. That was so funny. That was like really early in the morning.
But what I liked, it was so cool to wake up and get to listen to Ralph Garman as well on K-Rock.
He's so funny. His Trump is great.
Yeah.
His impressions are great.
But also, speaking of impressions, a new impression came out of that satellite show, and that would be, I'm Kylo Ren.
Oh, yeah.
I'm here to say, I'm going to take off my mask. I like his new Kylo Ren impression.
It's great.
Yes, because it's like there's nothing to it.
Yeah.
It's like Bane without the accent.
It is very Bane-esque. That's why Kevin can do it so well.
Okay, now in case you guys are wondering, oh God, this show's going to be boring. Is it just going to be them talking about this trip the whole time? For the most part, yes. But
we're not boring.
We did record a couple of guest segments while we were away. One of them is rather long, and the other is a little shorter. I mean, they're both, a decent size. But so we've decided that we're going to play one this show and then one on the next show. This one we're going to play will be that of Miss Siouxsie Q.
Right.
Because we sat down with her and filmed her for the movie and talked with her afterwards, did some podcasting.
It was so cool hanging out with her.
Yeah. So we're going to get to that in a little bit. And the other segment that we recorded was, as many of you may know from listening to the show, we had Chris Kim on for the Faces and Aces podcast.
Right.
And also Hitchbat.
Right.
That was the big thing. He was promoting Hitchbat at the time. Well, if you remember when he was on the show, he offered to take us out to a big Korean dinner. Well, he did that.
Oh my God, that's what we did Monday night.
It was amazing. It was so delicious.
So good.
Yeah.
And it was so generous of him.
Yeah. Oh,
Thank
my
you, sir.
God. Like, I saw the price tag of the meal that the woman pushed him to. And
well, because she did. She was she wanted us.
She was up in that bill.
She was. And he wanted us.
And even he was like, oh, if we get for two, because he knew that, like, a lot of food came out.
And he wanted us to try it. Like, try a little bit of everything.
Yeah. So ultimately, that's what we got.
And
we
it was
got
delicious.
like they brought out all. First, it opens with all these like sides or they're really sides or hors d'oeuvres. Just all kinds of different, like a radish that had been shaved into like a spaghetti kind of substance.
I think that was my favorite one.
And like in some sort of pickled salad dressing, and it was delicious.
It was like gingery, like.
Yeah. Everything was ginger, a little sweet, a little, tastes all over the place. Yeah. There was like a little potato salad. Yeah. All kinds of little things that were just delicious.
Yeah. Was that potato salad?
Yeah, it was. It was like, or some sort of root vegetable that was pulverized, and it really felt like a potato salad.
Yeah.
A lot of root vegetables in general.
And beef.
Yeah, and then beef. Like first course, when you cook it sort of in front of you, like a hibachi, but it's a much smaller sort of hibachi.
Yeah.
And first course was like a Philly cheesesteak consistency, a thin sort of, flavorful steak. And then the next was much more like a traditional sort of real thick cut steak beef.
Yeah.
So it was much like a tenderloin. So you were more like, wow, a little more to it. Then there was 2 more courses. The next ones were marinated, and they were just so good.
It was
and
delicious.
I told Chris, I said, if we had we did this all over again, I would have started with this. We could have just jumped to this. We didn't need all the courses before.
Yeah,
but
you're so full when you leave there.
Oh my God, you got to roll out. Yeah, and they're like dessert, and you're like, I couldn't eat anything else.
I wonder what dessert's like there, though. I didn't even know what they have in a Korean restaurant.
I thought she mentioned it, but I didn't. At the time, we were just like,
we're so full.
Yeah.
And plus, the poor guy, add dessert onto that. It was so, that would be overboard.
But the cool thing was
so
that
sweet.
While driving to the restaurant, we essentially recorded a long guest segment with Chris. So we'll have that in the hopper for the next show. It needs a lot more editing because it's a lot longer. It was in a car. So we're going to fix that up and put that out.
And where did he take us? Do you remember?
I don't. Oh, yeah, I do. Chosun.
We went to Chosun.
As in chosen.
Yes. And then after that, he took us to...
Then he took us down to the pier.
Santa Barbara?
No. Santa Monica Pier.
Santa Monica Pier.
The famous Santa Monica Pier.
Pier,
pier,
and
whatever. That's the famous, have you ever seen 1941? Where the Ferris wheel goes into the water. Yeah, it's out on a pier. So, yeah, we got to walk around
the Pacific
on there.
Ocean. We got our toes in the sand.
We saw the Pacific Ocean, but it was pitch black when we went. So it wasn't until our last day there that we actually saw the Pacific Ocean, like with our eyes.
Yep.
Venice
Beach.
Like water. Yes, we went to Venice Beach.
That was nice.
So
that was Monday.
So Tuesday. No, we didn't finish. Then we went to the Improv on Monday. Did we not? Yeah. So our second shoot on Monday was at the Improv. So we went over to the Improv and we got to shoot with a gentleman named Sean Merrick.
Yes.
Who runs one of these podcast networks. I know that Gilbert Gottfried, his show is on the network. The Sideshow Network, which is the Levity Entertainment Group.
Yep.
Which I believe is sort of under the umbrella of the Improv in general.
Right.
So it's all one big entertainment content generating organization. So and he gave us, again, insight into that business aspect. And being in the Improv was a very cool experience. Not the least of which was, we were on a tight timetable with him, and the reason why is because they had an incoming guest for another show. That guest turned out to be Kevin Nealon.
Right.
From Weeds and Saturday Night Live and, commercials. And we got to say hi and meet him. I mean, we didn't get a picture or anything, but
it was very cool.
It was just he was very nice. He was gracious. Kind of made a joke where he said, "Oh, we're shooting a movie on podcasting," and he's like, "Oh, are you having any trouble finding podcasters?"
Yeah, because no one has a podcast in LA.
Yeah, and in LA, that seems to be. That's the other thing I've noticed. I definitely noticed about LA. LA, the podcast thing is much because Los Angeles' entertainment capital. They are very business about podcast. I mean, it is. You could tell it's very much tied into comedians and gigs and bookings, and they're really figuring out. They're trying to figure out how to monetize, and it almost felt like gatekeepering. There's a lot of gatekeepering going on in Los Angeles as to who's a legitimate podcaster and who isn't. And I don't know, I was so comfortable with that aspect of this, because my feeling is every podcast that I've liked has been because you could tell the podcaster was, passionate about what they were doing.
I have his name.
Once you put business in front of that,
right,
you're going to start to because then you're putting your priorities wrong. You're putting making money ahead of passion, and you're going to get shit podcasts.
Well, and
you're going to get radio.
And the enthusiasm comes from the heart and from the excitement of the topic, and it comes from your experiences and wanting to share it with everyone. And even Kevin says, if you have something to say, just say it.
Yeah.
And when you're you
don't even have to do a podcast
regulated,
with guests.
Yeah, when you're kind of regulated by like a network or some people,
yeah,
it's
you
very
got people
hard
now gatekeeping you,
saying
and
you can't
controlling your content.
Yeah, and your content, and maybe the way you say it isn't the way they want you to.
That's gatekeeping.
Yeah.
So
see, people have to be able to express it the way they want to express it.
So it's come down to this. I mean, it's a new subheading of podcasting.
Right.
No gatekeepers or new gatekeepers. And then the cool thing was James and I got to shoot a lot of B-roll in the improv. We got to shoot that stage, that brick wall. We got to shoot all the pictures and, the room. And it was just neat having that kind of access to such an iconic space in Hollywood. So,
that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we drove through Beverly Hills, which is really nice.
Yeah. And then Tuesday we were supposed to do other stuff. I think we were supposed to do the improv on Tuesday, but since it moved, then we had Tuesday free.
Right.
And we ended up going up to the Griffith Observatory that day.
That was nice, too.
Really hot.
Oh, God. That was a hot climb.
Again, there's something iconic about that space.
And it was worth it.
They shot Rebel Without a Cause there. I believe some other movies have been shot up there as well, and it's just...
And the Hollywood sign's there?
Yeah, you can see the Hollywood sign really well from there. The funny, because the first night that when Chris took us out, he also took us to Grumman's that first night, and to see the Hollywood sign, and for whatever reason, it was not lit up. So we got there, and we were like, where's the Hollywood sign?
And he felt like he was...
He's like, am I wrong? Is it not supposed to? Because there's this arch in the mall that they built specifically so you could see the Hollywood sign, and it wasn't there. So did they know we were coming?
Right.
But the next day we saw it, and hey, there it is.
I know.
Driving along, like we just stumbled upon it, and there it was.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Yeah, and that was we're going up to Griffith Park, and then we couldn't. Then you can't avoid it because at Griffith you could see it everywhere.
That was great. There's so many people taking their picture and selfies right in front of the Hollywood sign. Really cute.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see, what else did we do on Tuesday? We just kind of chilled.
Yeah, and then what did we do Tuesday night? Tuesday during the day.
Oh, Tuesday during the day, we did that. And then Tuesday at night, that's right.
We went to the
Phantom Events screening of Yoga Hosers. We did. And we were there with Big Daddy Jimmy V and Marin. And Marilyn Gigliotti met up with us. First we had some...
And Cambria, her friend.
Yeah, and Cambria, yes, her friend. And which is an interesting name.
Very nice name.
Cambria.
It's easy to remember, too, because of that.
So, we had some... We ate up. We got some grub first, and then we went and got our Yoga Hoser on.
Oh, it was so great.
It was a lot of fun. And it was fairly crowded.
It was.
So, anyone who says that there was no one in the theater,
yes,
they didn't go during our screening.
Right. There was no one alone there.
Yeah. No, there was no one alone, and we had a good time. And we got a great picture, which you could see on Facebook.
It's a great picture.
Yeah, of all, the six of us, or however many there was.
And then, what was it?
We met that really nice lady, too. It was another Babylon head.
Right. And supposedly,
I believe her name is Dee.
Her name's Dee, and supposedly she's like a regular at Babylon.
Yeah, Miss D. You can find her on Twitter.
Yeah.
She's at Night Lounge 24.
Such a booster.
Yeah, really nice lady.
Really nice.
Another crazy Kevin Smith.
Yeah, we didn't get to
Ralph
really
Garman
talk to her.
Fan. Well, we did a little bit.
Tiny bit, yeah.
But she's definitely out there on Twitter and enthusiastic and having fun.
Right. If you haven't seen Yoga Hosers yet, you have to see it.
Yeah, it's very enjoyable.
It's fun. It's just a fun movie.
I loved it.
Ralph Garman's amazing. Funny. Just like the girls are great.
It's easily Johnny Depp's funniest performance on screen ever. So if you're a fan of Johnny Depp, it's worth seeing it just for that.
I just can't. I don't even know what words to use because he's just so perfect in it.
It's a goof.
It's
The movie's
so
a goof.
goofy.
You cannot go in and say, "This is
Yeah.
I got to take this seriously."
I mean,
it's all in
Kevin.
fun.
Kevin is a little wiener. That's what he
Yes.
plays. A little sausage.
And you guys start cracking up the moment you saw him. You and
And
Marilyn, I heard you guys bust out.
Oh,
laughing.
Marilyn,
and you've
is
already
hysterical.
seen it.
I know, but you can't help it because he's a papa.
Yeah,
You know,
he's like, mine's stretchy.
Nine stretchy. God. And Jay was supposed to be the Bratzy, right?
Papa.
Oh, Papa. But Jay was supposed to be the Bratzy, right?
Yes,
originally, and he wouldn't wear the...
And as a matter of fact, the reason why, if you see the Kevin footage of us interviewing him for our first interview back when he was on our show, we recorded in the stash.
Yeah.
The reason he has no beard in that footage is because he had just recently done the Bratzy, as you know, because he had to get a plaster cast made. For
That's
his
why
face.
he was
and that's
clean
why
shaven.
that's why he had to shave his face.
Yeah.
You can't do that because all that they would rip off
Yeah.
all your hair when they
And-
pull it out.
And think about it. How long ago was that? 2 years ago?
No, that was it 2 years?
It has to be.
Well, it was a year after. It was like 11 months after we started the show. So
It's almost 2 years coming up.
yeah, that's weird. Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, Yoga Hosers took that long.
Well, every movie takes a year or two.
Yeah. Well, we're realizing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys are so patient with us.
And the funny thing is, we should have known, because if you look at a movie that is very much like ours in terms of scope and scale, it would be Film Hawk. And that took them,
Yeah.
a year
I know.
a year of production and a year of editing.
And Bob even said.
Yeah. He's the one who said it.
He laughed at. No, he didn't laugh at us, but he just smiled and giggles and just like, well, it'll take a little longer than that, and you guys will see. And
Okay,
he's
wait
right.
a minute. You just made me realize something.
Yes.
Okay. Now, while we were in L.A., on Big Daddy Jimmy V's advice, he said, well, you should send Kevin a text each day to let him know what's up in case he has some time for you.
Yeah.
He can work you in, which was our hope. Because in my mind, I always kind of saw that we would record him in L.A.
And
I don't know why.
SModcast?
Yeah, or SModcast or his house or wherever. Now, we did get to drive up into that neighborhood, and we did get to see his house.
Wow,
and the
right?
reason why was because when you hear Kevin talk, you want some perspective. I wanted some perspective as a fan. I wanted to know what that neighborhood looks like, kind of what his house looks like. So we just drove by. We didn't do anything creepy. We didn't jump out and take pictures. We weren't stalkery or anything. But yeah, those streets are so narrow.
Crazy.
Like when there is a car coming one way, you almost have to pull over to the side of the road and let them pass. You got to negotiate.
Uphill.
And they're windy and switchbacky and very.
And the houses are like right there.
Yeah,
on top of each other.
Like the road, the house, and
Wow.
they're on stilts and they're on sticks and they're.
So,
it's just a crazy kind of neighborhood.
And you kind of know Kevin's just because of what you hear, like the construction and all that. So we knew which one was his.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not convenient to get out.
It's the
and do
first or
all
second
that
house
anyway.
on a street. That's pretty much
We
why.
wouldn't have done it anyway, but it's not the type area that you can even do that. Like, oh, let's jump out the car, like pull in the park. It's
pretty common that people tour in there to see tours
yeah,
with
I know,
stars.
but it's hard to get out and do all that.
Yeah,
it's very,
yeah.
you're risking your life.
Well, I don't know if you're risking your life, but
because people drive around the corner.
But it is a residential neighborhood, so no one's like speeding
No,
through.
no
It's
one's
just,
speeding.
It's very narrow,
Right.
and it feels like old world Italy or something like.
It does.
Yeah.
I never thought of that, but
Yeah.
there is like a vibe you get, and it's very
Everything's very cramped and stuck on the side of a mountain.
right? And it's very, it's very.
But all the
close.
houses are huge and gorgeous, and
it's definitely wonderful.
Yeah, it's
We
a
liked
whole.
it. We loved it.
It's a whole different lifestyle out there.
Vegas is great.
Well, that wasn't Vegas. That was.
I'm sorry,
Los
LA.
Angeles.
I'm sorry,
We
LA.
love LA. We love.
That was West Hollywood, where we were. That's where Kevin is.
Well, that's the main.
Right.
That's Hollywood proper. And
Is that what
and
it
that's
is?
Hollywood Hills that he's.
Oh,
in.
is that where it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the Hollywood Hills. Yeah, because he's just essentially like where the Grummins is. He's sort of behind those in the hills.
Yeah.
So he's not far
Right.
from Grummins. He's not far from the main tourist
Right.
spot that is L.A.
We think about it though, because he grew up in.
Even though it's not Grummins anymore, it's
He grew up on
TCL.
right. He grew up on the Jersey Shore, basically.
Yeah.
So, and we've seen Kevin's house when he grew up. It's very tiny and very close to the next person.
Yep.
So I wonder, if it was that much of a difference for him. Yeah, I don't know.
Plus, he got a good deal from Ben Affleck.
I know. Ben Affleck gave him a really good price.
So,
Ben, you're so good.
So that was night 2. We got to
Yeah.
hang out with Marilyn. We got to hang out with Big Daddy Jimmy V again. And we got to go see Yoko again.
It was fun.
Then Wednesday came, and we got more shooting done. Wednesday was Kelly Carlin at long last, which was, just a wonderful interview. She's such a nice person. Very open, very real, very human.
Very human. And an amazing dog named Mona Lisa.
Gene and the dogs and the cats.
Adorable.
And the freaking animals.
I know. I can't help it, though, because they're just wonderful.
Yeah. So that was a thrill, finally getting to sit down
Yeah.
and interview Kelly Carlin. I mean, that was part of the big, was getting Kelly and getting Siouxsie.
Yeah.
Because we've been talking to them for so long about doing this.
I know.
So actually getting there,
and finally meeting
sitting
them.
in their living room and doing the
Right.
film was like, we said we were going to do this. We've done it. This
right.
is an accomplishment.
Meeting Kelly Carlin was a highlight.
Yeah.
And she just, showed us around, and she showed us, she was, where, like her backspace where she does a lot of like the podcasting and, work. And
she's in a very interesting space too, because she just came out of a
Very
social media blackout for
Yeah.
like 2 months for the
Yep.
summer, and she was just reintroducing it. And she sort of felt like she rediscovered herself
Right.
and was much more free. Wasn't relying on a false sense of security to give her, accolades by liking things and retweeting things and pinning her values to such.
And she talked about Gary Shandling.
Yeah,
It
she
was
talked a lot about Gary Shandling.
very close, and we actually sat in the chair that was Gary Shandling's chair.
Yeah,
and
it was awesome.
It was an awesome and a very rustic place, very
Yeah.
spiritual, very like normal.
Yeah,
like there is nothing like stuck up, nothing. I don't know. I didn't get that vibe at all the whole week.
There were moments when I was like, Kelly is having a time where she wants to sort of separate from her father's legacy, rightfully
Right.
so. And I got that vibe back before she was writing the book.
Right.
But I never wanted to say anything, but I kind of got that vibe, and I understood it completely. But, as you look around her house, you'd see pictures, family pictures with George Carlin, and it's just like, that would remind you, wow, we're in special space.
Right. Oh my God, yes. And then all of her mom's art was around.
Yeah. Her mama. Oh, yeah, that was interesting. Her mom collected like these interesting masks from Central America, but it was from a time where like they were sort of mixing the spiritual things. So like you'd see what was traditionally an old, face mask of some sort of Incan or
like
Aztec
a shaman or something. Yeah.
Shaman mask, but then on top of it was like a nun or a carving of a priest or something.
Or like an angel popping out.
Yeah,
of it.
so it was like mixing and matching of these two
so
religious cultures into
cool.
one. It was very interesting stuff.
Very interesting. Like her mom is a very interesting
Yeah,
person. Well, I
I've said interesting like 30 bazillion times.
Yeah.
So then after Kelly's, it was like we got in the car, we left at like 4.
Right.
To be somewhere at 6.
Right.
And it took about that much time.
I know.
We got to stop off, I think, at our place and like maybe get something or two. But
yeah, then we got something to do, grab something
but
to eat.
that LA traffic, man.
A few In-N-Out burgers along the way.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we did hit the
Yeah, we did. Which
quite
was
a few
yummy.
times. Yeah.
Which was yummy.
I mean, it wasn't.
I'm not too crazy.
It wasn't
about
the most
fries.
unique hamburger I've ever experienced. It reminded me of like a Rally's or that kind of.
I thought
maybe
it was pretty yummy.
Maybe even a Sonic type burger.
Yeah, but it's better than I thought it was better than a McDonald's or whatever. It seems like a notch up from that.
Yeah.
The French fries, but it's
Some
okay.
people love their fries though. So.
Yeah, but I don't know. After the burger, see what happens is I eat the burger and then I'm full, and I don't eat the fries.
Yeah.
You're supposed to eat the fries first.
Yeah.
Dummy.
Anyway. So we got some In-N-Out burgers. God, these people are getting boring. They're bored. They're like, oh, we don't care about all this detail. But here's a good way to get into our interview. So then we sat down at long last with Siouxsie Q. And many of you know Siouxsie was like our 4th guest on this show, and I really attribute her show with me finding the voice for this show. So to me, and if you go back to Bone Crushing Juggernaut days, the reason why I had to have her on was because she was one of these podcasters who claimed to be inspired by Kevin. And so that made her like a kindred spirit from the get-go. And then we had her on a show and really got into her. And she's like expanded our minds in terms of, how we think about sex workers. And I even shared some of this.
She really has changed a lot of our
perspectives.
Yeah. And
so it was very important to get her in the film. And we were glad to sit down with her. And she's adorable.
She's so cute.
She's smart. She's
so smart.
Now in a position where, like, essentially... She has put she's put sex work to the side because she's now she's working for a lobbyist of the porn industry.
Right.
Really. She's a public relations
she's a director.
person. Yeah, she's public relations for this, essentially a lobbying firm for, adult entertainment. And
she's doing what she's dreamed to do.
Yeah, and she got it via her podcast.
I know.
I mean, it's sort of like they saw that her podcast and the work she was doing, and they said, "Oh God, this is the person we need to come on board."
Making a difference.
Yeah. So now she's in a really good position to affect change,
right?
And to
and Prop 60 is huge.
Yeah, she's big on Prop 60, and we're going to play that interview in just a moment, where she's going to talk about what Prop 60 is.
Yes.
And admittedly, you will hear two very weary travelers. Sitting with Siouxsie at this time because it was so funny because we just finished the movie interview. We sort of tore down. I set up the podcasting gear. We started the podcast, and almost instantly I felt all the life drained from my body.
Right.
It was like all the travel, everything had just caught up with us.
Right. And meanwhile, she's like stretching and looking like so cute.
She's
all the time.
Oh my God, so adorable, so sexy, so
I know. Yeah, but she's like, that's her though. I mean,
I know exactly.
She lives that life, and it's just like she wears it like.
Yeah, because we went out to dinner and
like
afterwards, and she was just walking. So we walked to a place.
And she has
dinner,
a wiggle, I know.
And she has the cutest little wiggle when she walks. I even had to say, she's got the cutest little
really
wiggle.
Does.
Yeah.
She's so cute, and she had her hair just so, and her red lipstick.
Yeah, she's adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were. Too bad it didn't go there.
Yeah, but you know what? It's not supposed to.
It would have felt cheap. Yes. But
yeah.
boy,
we could have brought her back to the Airbnb. No, that would have
then there.
Style.
To which she even said, "I think I've been that Airbnb." She sort of confirmed our suspicions.
Yeah, but you'll be able to hear that.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, without further ado, why don't we actually give you guys a guest show after? Well, should we wrap up? Because we have a big announcement. Sort of. Anyone who follows us on Twitter sort of knows, and on Facebook.
We're going to wrap up. Yeah.
But we will say for after the interview, we'll wrap up. We'll finish up our California trip, and then we'll talk about what we did yesterday.
Yes.
But until then, please enjoy our interview. It's short comparatively to most of our interviews, which is good because this has been long already. Here is Miss Siouxsie Q, friend of the show, awesome person, and public relations person for...
Yes, Siouxsie.
And a big advocate for no to Prop 60.
So proud of you, Siouxsie.
Here she comes, Siouxsie Q.
Siouxsie.
And now, here's our guest.
Welcome now to Los Angeles.
I know, right? We're actually here.
Where we're joined
Love it here.
by a friend of the show and really awesome personality, Siouxsie Q. You remember her from quite a few episodes, I think.
Hello, everyone.
I'm not hearing
Hi,
anything in one
Siouxsie.
speaker, but I'm sure it's there. So, oh my God, I'm so tired from all the filming we've done.
Yeah, I bet.
How are you? Tell us, why are you in Los Angeles? Why are we here in your living room? And, God.
Well, I live in Los Angeles now.
Yes.
I moved here about in May, and it's August now. I moved here to take a job, actually.
This is so awesome. This is the greatest opportunity. You are a lobbyist.
Well, I'm not a lobbyist. You have to actually do things, I think, I do things, but I think there's some processes in place before you're an official lobbyist. I work with a lobbyist, though. He's great.
You work for a lobbyist firm.
Kind of. I work for a trade association. It's a nonprofit. It's the Trade Association of the Adult Industry. It's called the Free Speech Coalition. I am the Director of Policy and Industry Relations is my official title.
So cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So I do advocacy about the adult industry, which is what I was doing before via a podcast
but
and
now,
a column.
You have figured out exactly what Kevin Smith said that you have to do, which is figure out what you're good at, figure out what you can do, and get paid for it.
Yeah.
So now you're getting paid to do what you did for free.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You
It's
give us
really
hope.
Cool. It's really cool. I love it so much. And right now we're hard at work on the No Prop 60 campaign.
Okay, tell us about it because you got to
God.
it's very relevant.
Okay, hold on. So Prop 60, it's on the ballot in California, November 8th. People can vote on it. It is one of the only propositions that has not just bipartisan but tripartisan opposition this year.
Okay.
So
there's a lot of opposition.
A lot of opposition.
That's a good thing.
Especially right now, this election cycle, it's hard to get Democrats, Republicans, and independents to agree on anything, let alone porn.
So
I'm
sure
that's
they can all
porn
agree
and-
on porn.
yeah.
They just can't.
will publicly agree on porn.
I know.
You know,
just privately.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe they can't agree on the kind of porn, but
Right, but who can?
true.
So true.
I can watch anything. As long as it's gorgeous people fucking, I'll watch it. I don't care.
But yeah, so Prop 60 is unfortunately titled the Safer Sex in the Adult Industry Act. It is anything but. Gene, are you chewing gum?
I am.
You're the worst.
I
I'm
know.
gonna die. I'm gonna die.
Wait,
I'm
nice
sorry.
to-
I hate
nice-
to be like a PE
No,
that's
teacher
fine.
about
Nice
it.
catch.
I'm
I didn't
glad
even catch
because I
it
didn't
yet.
even. Thank you.
I'm
Thank
just
you.
suddenly like, wait.
No. I'm
wait.
glad that you did because you know what? I wasn't even paying attention, and I was.
Spank
But
her.
thank
No,
you.
I'm sorry.
I
Thank you.
I've become. It's fun. Isn't it amazing how podcasting turns you into this like audio creep?
Very much so.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad you did that.
I
though.
dry up very, very quickly, and it
Gotta
really
stay hydrated. I'm terrible. So my other podcast, if we can detour from Prop 60
Yes.
for a second. So I have a podcast called The Whorecast. It's the Whorecast Network now. We have a couple other podcasts.
Look at her. She's resetting herself as a guest.
Hi.
She's resetting the guest.
But one of the podcasts that's really started to do a lot of cool things recently and expand is the On Your Face podcast, formerly Winter is Coming on Your Face. It's a Game of Thrones, originally a Game of Thrones podcast. Now it's just sex workers talking about nerd stuff podcast.
So it's opened up.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's
When you open up, then you can do more.
yeah, you can.
You can stretch your legs more.
Yeah, it's been an exciting. It's been exciting how that has expanded. You know, the things that we can talk about, and I think that does humanize people in a different way. You know,
Yeah.
Back to Prop 60. Sorry.
That's okay.
So
back to LA.
Yes. It is, Prop 60 is unfortunately titled the Safer Sex in the Adult Film Industry Act. It is anything but. It is a full-on Trojan horse initiative, pun very much intended, because yes, it is indeed one of those condoms and porn mandates.
Okay, so who's behind this particular one?
Same folks, AIDS Healthcare Foundation. They were behind AB 1576 a couple years ago, which...
And who are they?
They are a man called...
I was going to say, everyone's couched in bullshit names.
Totally.
You know? Everything sounds safe. Everything sounds nice.
Right.
The Clean Skies Initiative.
Right, exactly. So the AIDS Healthcare Foundation, I will get a little dirty here. Now, Michael Weinstein has been their head. He's the founder. And he has, you know, don't get me wrong, he opened up one of the first AIDS hospices back in the 80s. He's done a lot of important work for, you know, the HIV movement. However, he has decided to come down on the adult industry as somehow perpetuators of the bad type of sex, I guess, for lack of a better term, because I think...
Now, what is the bad type?
I think that, and Michael Weinstein...
who is making that call?
Michael Weinstein himself, who, don't get me wrong, don't forget, under Prop 60 would become California's, for lack of a better term, porn czar. He would be a private attorney general that would be in charge of reviewing all the adult film and filing lawsuits against and complaints against those who did not comply with his vision of how adult film should be, which is a violation of free speech. Can I just for a second? I'm sorry. Can we just remember that you can't actually tell people what to put on film? That's something that people have died for.
I'm just thinking, like,
It's true.
there's a certain kind of sick person who like.
Yeah.
I'm going to make myself the king.
Yeah.
Well, and then have to watch all. Have to monitor all this
stuff. He's the one who has to review it all to make sure it's good for everyone else.
I could just see him with a bloated leather bag in his hand.
We're supposed to really believe that?
And he's gone on the record saying that he thinks that it's irresponsible to show people having condomless sex. And I think if I can put on my compassion hat, and what he cites himself is that, from the HIV epidemic, that it's just irresponsible for us to showcase sex that doesn't utilize condoms.
Right.
But lots of people have sex without condoms.
Yeah, all the time. Married couples.
You guys probably don't use condoms, right?
No, not at all.
And so that's one of the things that Prop 60 just doesn't even take into consideration. That now, especially with the age of the internet, we have some folks who have been coming to Sacramento and stuff with us, speaking out against Prop 60. They're a married couple and they webcam from their bedroom. Under Prop 60, they could be sued by any resident of California who files a complaint. And then, check this out. So Cal OSHA, the governing body.
Those are the perfect headset for you because you are a hands talker.
I am a hands talker.
If you folks at home could see her going, man, she's wonderful.
She's performing.
Yeah, she's totally. It's awesome. She's going.
So
I'm the same way, actually, but usually I have my chair and my studio and my space.
It's hard to film him while he's doing
hand stalkers.
Yes.
So Cal OSHA is the designated body for governing workplace safety in California, and there's also federal OSHA.
Right. OSHA. Yeah.
So what Prop 60 will do is that it will say that if and when Cal OSHA decides to not pursue a workplace safety claim around adult film, so they say, we looked at it, no, either it expired or whatever. We rule that we're not going to pursue this further. It empowers the resident who made that claim to go ahead and sue the workers anyway and get 25%. And get 25% of the proceeds from the lawsuit. It's incentivized harassment of the adult industry.
Yes,
just
total harassment.
Is this why, as I've learned recently, coming to town, that a lot of porn is moving to Nevada?
Well, the unfortunate thing is that even under Prop 60, folks who shoot out of state won't necessarily be safe unless it's very, very clearly. Because the way the law is written, it takes it directly to discovery. There's no demur stage.
Right.
So you have to already go to court.
There's no arraignment?
There's no, it goes directly to discovery.
So you
already have to put up $25,000 to just exist. And to say, no, I didn't even shoot that in California. No, I shot that before Prop 60 even happened. There's still a process in place that takes you directly there.
Thing.
It's designed to just shut down the adult industry. So I'm really hoping that people spread the word. Every California voter understands that regardless of what you think of the adult industry, that's not how America rolls.
Yeah.
That's not how. Why would you completely sidestep a state-sanctioned agency with lawsuits? That's just ridiculous. That's what they were afraid of in the 90s when they started telling lawyer jokes. The lawsuit bonanza that could happen.
Someone has decided it's in their best interest to be able to do that. Someone who wants power.
Yeah. Yeah, and if I can get real dirty with Nancy Drew motives for a second. So AIDS Healthcare Foundation, they have more money than God. They took out ads, on Prop 60 ads during 7 o'clock on a Wednesday night during the Olympics on MSNBC.
Yeah.
More money
Prime
than
time.
God.
Yeah.
And a lot of that money comes from selling HIV medication.
Yeah.
Really?
So I'm
very, very expensive.
If your business is ensuring that people keep buying HIV medication, maybe, just maybe, you wouldn't be that interested in something like PrEP, for example, Truvada,
right.
the daily pill that you can take. It's like a birth control for
right.
HIV.
Yeah.
So, which AIDS Healthcare Foundation has continuously blocked access, information, funding to pre-exposure prophylaxis. So I think that's a little clue of just maybe, just maybe, this organization is not actually that invested
right.
in what they say they're invested in, and they are invested in more attention and money their way, which, guess what, going after the adult industry, if we talk about it's a big industry, but if you just think about the number of performers affected, and performers would be affected under this initiative, it says in the initiative that performers would be exempt unless they have provided they have no financial interest.
Look at her go.
I know, sorry.
That's awesome, man.
But yeah, performers would be exempt provided they have no financial interest in the film. Now, today, when people make adult content, it's very rarely is it you just show up, you know, get cummed on, and you get your check and go home. That happens some of the time, but most people that are shooting and making a real income and a real living are shooting their own clips, are a combination of performer, producer, distributor. They may even have affiliate links from things they've shot for big studios like Kink.com or Evil Angel to their own personal website. And so even the films that they just show up and get a check for, they have a financial stake in. And under Prop 60, they would be liable.
Right.
You know, there's only 1,800 of us or so at any given time. We're a minority within a minority. Like, many of us are LGBT. Many of us are working class. Many of us are people of color. Like, this is fucked up. You can't.
Can't make a second-class citizen.
Exactly. So, my life is that right now.
A lot of passion. A lot of... but it must be nice to know at the end of the week you get a paycheck for doing this kind of work. Because...
It is.
Well, yeah, we're not making money off this movie. I mean, hopefully down the road, this is all an investment.
Yeah.
But I tell you, our days feel a lot better as a result of loving what we do.
Right.
Whereas, and, you know, making less and making more sacrifices for now. You know, 5-year plan, we won't be here. But for now, this is where we're at. But our life is better. Like, we feel better. We love each other more. We're partners, and we have our fights, we have our moments, but overall, I mean, it's pulled us together as a couple better, and we've become more full people as to who we're supposed to be, I think. Podcasting is awesome.
It is.
God, I don't even know what to say anymore. I'm so talked out.
I know. Tell me about it.
We're supposed to do a podcast here.
Well,
spread
the word. Spread the word about Prop 60. If you are engaged in like sex work Twitter or porn Twitter at all, people have been changing their avatars. So if you look, on my social media, it's just like no Prop 60, no Prop 60 everywhere. It's really cool to see the industry uniting like that. And
that's cool.
Fans and producers and
I'll take a picture of the button and put it up.
Please do.
Yes.
Please do. We can even make you a cool avatar.
Oh, cool.
So
we like cool avatars.
I know. I love avatars.
Oh, you guys! I put out a book.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yes, please tell us a story, please.
Okay, I can tell you a story. So, Truth, Justice, and the American Whore. It came out published by 3L Media. Came out on May 1st. It's a compilation of my writing for the past 3 years or so, ever since I started the column with the San Francisco Weekly. My column, The Whore Next Door. And I'm really fucking proud of it.
Any other plays in the works?
Yes. I need to finish the companion to Fish Girl.
I loved your last one. It was
I was so glad you guys came.
Is there going to be a big follow-up? Is there going to be a new chapter?
No, I mean, Fish Girl is its own tale. It's the beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
We see those characters they're born and they die on stage. All of them, kind of. P.S. Look, this is the barrel.
I love it.
Right? And if you up there is part of the set.
But those weren't your eyelashes?
No, these aren't my eyelashes. Some other girl's eyelashes.
Oh my god!
And then in my bedroom, I'll show you. But there's a little shelf, and that's the Fish Girl platform set, covered in white burlap. With my friend came in here and decorated. But
we often show off your picture.
Our
picture with you.
Oh
yeah, it's very sweet.
Yeah.
So I mean, Sean Andrews, who is my co-playwright, we had actually a grant and plans to do a production in February of last year, I think, up in Portland. Our second play, the companion story to Fish Girl, A Robot's Love is Forever, which examines sex work through the lens of sci-fi.
Okay.
Which I'm really, really excited about.
You're going to be a robot instead of a
Yes, I get to be a robot.
Wow, that's so cool.
I know, I'm so into it. But my life has been pretty nuts for the past year.
Yeah.
Lots of big changes. So that project is unfortunately on hold for now. But Sean and I love making plays together, and that we're not going to not make that play.
Very cool.
It took us like 3 years to finish Fish Girl. So like we function on a very slow timeline, but it'll happen. Don't you worry.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, Siouxsie, thank you for spending some time with us, and thanks for
pleasure.
educating us on Prop 60.
Yes.
Anytime.
And vote, everyone vote.
Yes, please vote. November 8th. Don't forget. You can find out more at stopprop60.com, the freespeechcoalition.com, or actually just freespeechcoalition.com. Use the hashtag NoProp60, follow FSC Army, and you can always find me at thehorcast.com.
Cool.
Perfect.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
And the vote's November, right?
November 8th.
November 8th.
It's coming
right
right
up. Oh my God,
up.
it's like around the corner already.
I know.
Who are you voting for this year? Yeah.
I'm
going
with
Trump?
her.
You going Trump?
No, fuck, Jesus Christ,
you're
I
not a
can't
Trump
believe that's
person?
real.
I know.
No, I actually
Wait a second.
fucking
Wait. Now we have something to talk about.
I know,
here.
right? No,
Wait,
I actually
back
can't.
the truck up.
I have been saying since the very beginning, like, no, guys, TV. That dude's on TV. He's a very real threat. He is a very,
dangerous.
very real threat.
He is, and he's also sort of like the Republican id monster.
Yeah.
You know, like remember what was it? Forbidden Planet. It was the big id monster.
Right.
It's their own.
So
they've
true.
created Donald
Conglomeration
Trump. He says he puts voice to all the things they think.
So true.
But don't really
don't
want to
wanna
say.
say. I
You know,
know.
like all the racist crap. All
But
that
the fact
dog
that they
whistling.
want to say all that stuff, there's a problem there if you want to say all that stuff. To me.
No,
Well,
there is a problem.
there
and
is,
that's the
but-
problem
That's
with
a
America.
huge
And
problem. The fact that you want to
all right,
say all
here's
those
the problem
hateful things.
with America and possibly even the media.
Uh-huh.
Alt-right.
Really?
This term,
Alt,
they've
yeah.
sheked up racism.
Alternative right.
The alt-right is really
Gross.
Yeah. It's really like
No, fuck that.
anti-Semitism. It's, Nazism. It's anti-feminism.
I know.
It's everything gross. Yeah.
I don't get it.
And he's brought it out of the closet.
I know.
I don't get it. I'm with her. That's all I know.
I'm with her.
And how proud am I? I'm very proud of Hillary.
So proud. I wrote a column about, because it was not popular in my like radical sex work anarchist world.
I believe it.
Really?
To be with her at first. Actually,
I believe it.
My exes.
Bernie. Everyone had to be Bernie.
My exes
well,
are
I
very
was a
much
Bernie
with Bernie.
guy.
Of
too.
course.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with
No,
Bernie.
I'm with Bernie too,
Of
but he
course.
didn't.
But he didn't win.
But he didn't win.
I know.
So what are you gonna
Exactly.
do?
But I was with her even when Bernie was in the race.
Yeah.
I was.
Good for you.
I mean, I've loved Hillary Clinton since I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
When I was in first grade, and I know everyone gets mad when bitches say this, but
This is adorable.
it's fucking real. When I was in first grade, and they asked you and what do you want to be when you grow up? I was like, I want to be the president, bitch. It's like that's the only job.
Right.
I don't want to be a queen. I want to be the queen.
Right. Right.
Basically.
Right. Yeah.
So that's, but no, I decided to make the choice to like publicly endorse Hillary with my little tiny platform of the San Francisco
Right.
Weekly. But I knew in my heart, I was just like, if I don't do this and she doesn't win, I will never forgive myself. If I
Right.
wrote for a fucking newspaper and I didn't like
Yes.
I don't get.
It's very important.
I mean, hey, I don't get any women who aren't voting for her just
know.
because.
I
if
just
all,
don't get it.
I mean, just like this was your chance. Why would you?
Yeah.
If your grandchildren ask you, remember when Hillary Clinton? And you're
Yeah.
going to say, I didn't vote for her. Why? I was an idiot? I mean, how do you
And the ones that
explain
support Trump, I don't get either.
Yeah.
Women like that.
Well,
Those are women, like self-loathing women, though.
yeah.
I wonder if there will be
I'm with
less
my
and
husband.
less of those.
Yeah.
There were definitely some like porn stars who came out in favor of Trump. I mean, like, I
Really?
think like who was the terrible? I feel like I don't remember. There was, but that
I always
initial facade of like, oh,
Right.
he's a good businessman. That's what
Yeah.
America needs.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's faded a little
feel
bit.
I think
there's
it
a
has
very,
to.
I feel if you're very undereducated, you can fall prey
Fall
to
to
that.
it, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
He's so successful.
He loves the uneducated,
glamour.
though. He
Yeah.
loves the
Oh,
uneducated.
yes, I love it.
May I just say
Because
though?
he's going to make more of them.
May I just say that I am loving the gloves off approach to the liberal media
Now?
around this. Oh my God.
Yes.
Listening to NPR. I listen to NPR every morning when I drive to work. I have about a
Right.
25-minute commute. LA life.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I've discovered that. I'm like, I can see why podcasts go down big here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Commuting. I mean, just driving
Yeah.
from Kelly Carlin's to this back here.
Because it's at least a half hour to wherever you're going, pretty much.
Little, pretty much without fail.
Yeah.
But yeah, I listen to NPR in the morning, and like I love driving around on like Sunday and like listening to all the podcasts that I love live on the radio. Yeah. That's like everything to me. But oh god, I just love listening to like. Did you hear about the cookie baking contest?
No.
Okay, so I decided to publicly endorse Hillary when I saw this Katie Couric interview with her from 1993 or 4, like right when she got into office the first time.
Right.
Let's be real.
When she was going to have to bake cookies?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, and she criticized it openly, and she got in a lot of shit for it.
Right, exactly. And this was part of that whole time period when she was really having to like clean up her image to be like that first lady that she was supposed to be. And fucking Katie Couric was interviewing her. First of all, they dressed her in a pink blazer. Rude, right? And Katie Couric is just like, Hillary, why do you think that people compare you to Lady Macbeth? Like, legitimately. Like, she asked her that.
Oh, my God. I was alive for this. I don't remember it.
I know. I was furious. And I remember Sam and I watched. He's the co-host of On Your Face Pod and Horcast now. We were watching it. And we were just like, that's it.
Oh, my God.
We are with her. Because if she's had to put up with that in front of the camera, like, think about what she's had to put up with behind closed doors.
Definitely.
What did she say to that?
I don't even remember.
That's
horrifying.
horrifying.
I think I threw the thing across the room.
God.
What else did they ask her? Like, do you think you're a political liability to your husband? Why have you chosen to take your quarters in the West Wing?
And then like she's...
It was just so
And there's
gnarly.
like she's
the media
blamed
has
for him.
The media has scrutinized her in a way that... And they've
no
let Donald Trump pass on nothing.
There's rumors.
It's just like, whatever the hell this guy does, it's like, I described it like, it's like the media's like, oh, look, he's got little small hands. Oh, look, Donald Trump, he learned not to say the blacks anymore. You know, they kind of congratulate him like he's a little baby.
Right.
Yeah, they coddle him.
It's
nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this cookie baking thing, though, is so much better. So she's famous for that off-the-cuff remark.
Right.
And they're like, well, why did you get involved in this and that? And why are you such an uppity lady? And she was like, and she says, hey, look, I guess I could have stayed home and baked cookies. Blah, blah, blah. And like the 90s housewives of America burned it down. Like they were not having it.
Yeah.
They came after her so hard. And the campaign, because she was not elected at that time, or Bill was not elected, pardon me, Freudian slip. And so the campaign told her, you know, hey, Hillary,
you gotta be more.
You gotta, you know, and
you gotta be more the astronaut's wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So Family Circle magazine, you know, the ones you see at the grocery store that have like the pies that cut out with all nice and stuff.
And the Good Housekeeper.
Betty Crocker.
Exactly. Delicious, you know, food porn before we called it that.
Yes.
So Family Circle magazine, somebody at their PR department was like, I've got an idea.
Good point.
Let's do...
They put porn in there, didn't they? Just to give a certain description to what food, you know, food porn.
Food porn.
That's interesting. I've never even given the thought of that, but yes.
I've heard of food porn before.
No. I understand that, but I never even thought
that
of
it was
the
a
fact...
thing before it was a thing.
No, I know, but I've never peeled back that we use porn in that respect, almost in a good way, and to indicate a certain thing.
Yeah.
But also...
Oh, it's true.
It's held in such a negative also. You know what I mean? It's such
food
a
porn is not looked at the same.
We say food porn to give it a little zing, a little juice to spice it up and make it sound, sexier. Ooh, food porn.
But that's okay to do that.
Yeah, but real porn, whole other thing.
Well, no one's naked in food porn.
I didn't think of that.
It's true.
Another layer of the onion
That's the
peeled
problem.
back.
When people are naked, there's all sorts of issues with people. That's why.
But I would say that, like, you know, Puritanism would also frown on the salacious way in which we covet the image of gluttony.
Actually,
right?
That's true too.
A Puritan.
Yeah.
Puritan.
Black Phillip, anything Black Phillip would approve of, you know,
right?
Puritanical America.
They say most.
So anyway, the cookie baking thing. I the story. Beckon as a Hillary supporter.
Yes,
you will
absolutely,
love it. Okay.
Yeah.
So Family Circle was like, wait, I've got an idea. We should make the competing first ladies do a cookie baking contest, first lady against first lady, or potential first lady against first lady, and so they made Hillary, enter this cookie baking contest against Barbara fucking Bush, who's like is a cookie.
Yeah,
she's
like the cookie.
America's she is grandma. A cookie. She's like America's grandma.
She's the sugar cookie.
And so Hillary was just like, so Hillary started campaigning. She was like, all right, I'll bake fucking cookies.
You go, Hillary.
And she won. She campaigned. She baked this like chewy, like oatmeal chocolate chip cookie, and she won. And they won.
That sounds delicious.
Right?
That's like my favorite kind of cookie
right
too.
But yes, and now 20 years later, guess who's competing in that cookie baking contest?
Yeah,
Hillary
that crazy
again.
No, fucking Bill Clinton, her husband's fucking competing.
That's right.
Suck a dick. Suck a dick, family circle. Wear that pink blazer. Never. Sorry.
Are they doing it? Are they doing the? Are they doing the cookie baking
and
thing?
so on NPR, I was listening to it.
That's right, because he's
amazing.
the first husband.
So I was listening on NPR. They were covering the story, and so then they were eating they were taste testing the cookies on the air, and they were just like, "Oh my god, Hillary's cookie is so good. It's so moist. It's so like
well, it's not Hillary's. It's Bill's.
Well, it's called the Clinton family cookie, and it's the same recipe. It's the same recipe she went with.
Okay.
So he hustled it.
And then they start. What is Bush's wife's name? Melania.
Melania.
Like she can bake
Melania.
And they tried. It
Like
bordered
it was
on
like-
xenophobia. Like they were right on that edge of like liberal media meets xenophobia. They're like, it's very Eastern European. It's dry. This is a really bland cookie. Wouldn't you say? Yeah, I'd say it's pretty bland.
And
I think we know what we liked.
Yeah, so she didn't win. Melania didn't do it.
Not on NPR. I don't know what the family circle votes are in yet, but I think it's a pretty boss bitch move to be like, that to start a cookie baking, because they didn't have that first lady cookie baking contest
I love that so
until.
Much. And I love so much that Bill was in it.
Yeah, that's great. First husband.
That is full redemption.
Isn't it the best?
And he beat a girl.
I don't know. Well, we have to check.
Well,
we should check.
circle.
Here,
I'm a huge Bill Clinton fan.
I almost don't want to know.
I don't want to know.
You don't want to. I mean,
We gave it to
Hillary won.
Melania.
Hillary won. We all know
Hillary
in our
won.
hearts.
Just like she's
we're
gonna
with
win.
her.
She
Just
will
like
win.
she's set
Totally
to
with
probably
her.
win the biggest landslide election of our time.
She will.
Fucking better.
See, but you know what? It's scary to think that there may be a chance that she might not.
I
don't know.
She's going to. All the
It's
data
like very,
points
very
to it.
scary.
All the data points.
Yeah.
There's not enough organization in any state that Nudnik has no organization.
Nudnik.
He's
No, and Hillary's done this once before, and she
Yes.
and the media,
three
it's
times.
always
really.
in their best interest to try and play it as a horse race, to try and play it as if it's even if it's not.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
No. Here's a question. My favorite conspiracy theory is I love the idea, of course, that Hillary's campaign got Trump involved. I love that.
I've been
conspiracy
saying that
theory.
since the beginning, actually, and
but I think that there's a twist. There's like a James Bond twist.
like somewhere along the way he wanted it.
Yeah, exactly. And he like calls her in. He's like, "Guess what, Hillary? Deal's off.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the
Me
commander.
and my little hands
chief.
are going to be on the button.
You're fired.
You're fired.
Like drops her into a tank of sharks or whatever.
I
Like,
wish I had my
totally.
soundboard.
But
We could
then
work-
she had her rocket pack, so she escaped off the
of course.
island.
Of course.
But
But I did very much speculate, and I'm glad I have a podcast because all these things are documented in time that I did speculate. Is Donald Trump a spoiler by the Clintons to really just destroy the Republican Party?
Mm-hmm.
I also heard the reason he got in, his first motivation, it was just to get Bush because he shit on some communication deal he was trying to get passed.
He's being spiteful.
Yeah,
I mean, that worked like a charm.
I know,
right?
And then mission accomplished. So
Yeah.
then I guess he was like, what the fuck?
yeah,
I thought
Which
too
is
that he
why
was.
It would make sense because it doesn't seem like he's really running to win. Strategically, no.
I heard
if
too
you
that
watch
he was
Rachel Maddow, you know that.
that he was trying to he's trying
A
to
media
build like
company.
his own media
A
company.
which explains why he's
Yeah.
with Breitbart and with what's his name,
that
the guy,
does make sense.
the sexual assault guy from Fox, Roger Ailes.
Roger Ailes.
Yeah. So, well, it's been an you know what the Chinese say? May you live in interesting times.
Yeah,
Yes.
we sure have.
It's a curse, though.
It is. It sure is. Well, everyone vote for Hillary. Vote no on Prop 60 if you live in California. If you don't live in California, tweet about it, talk about it, call your friends in California, tell them to vote no. It's really important to my life.
Yes.
And a lot of people's lives. And America.
Yes. Freedom.
That's
baby.
not how America rolls.
Stop now let's go eat, drink, smoke, and party. Woo! Okay, fun time. Enough talk.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thanks, Susie.
And there you have Miss Siouxsie Q.
Isn't she great?
And her, our fun little segment with her. She's awesome. We appreciate her.
She's got a great cat, too. I can't remember the cat's name. I asked her like 12 times.
I'm just glad that she was like, oh, I don't mind that we're all so tired and beat. Let's wrap this up at the time.
It was. And Jason was there with the...
Yeah, Jason shot with us, of course,
Yeah.
For when we filmed.
With his friend. Yeah. I just said it before, now I can't remember his name.
With an amazing camera that everyone was impressed with.
God, his
which
camera.
was like a drone. He had standard camera, too, but he also had this drone unit that snapped off and went on a handheld gimbal, so he had a steady cam that was essentially like, super light, super small.
Right.
The gimbal was bigger than the camera itself, but it shot in full 4K.
Yeah.
So it was very impressive.
And Oscar was his friend. His friend was helping, just get. He was very focused on like the cables, so no one tripped. He was doing all the very particular stuff.
And apparently, he's an animator.
And he's an animator and very, very smart.
Yes,
that's what we like.
And wow, how do we get back here on Thursday?
I don't know. We're just talking about Siouxsie again. We can't stop talking about her.
Yeah. So that was Thursday night. So was that Thursday or Wednesday night?
That was
Wednesday night.
That was Wednesday because the next day is Marilyn.
The next day we shot Marilyn in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot of fun. We already saw her the night before.
Right.
So we talked with her about. I mean, she's just a fun person. She's been on the show a bunch of times.
Yeah, and she was like, she had everything set up.
Yes.
She was ready. She was perfect.
She was very much an actress too. Like she asked very technical questions about the shot. I was sort of impressed. With her, she'd set dressed.
Yeah.
Beforehand,
right.
Yeah, she was on top.
Well, because she's into all that, because she does.
Yeah, and she also does. I didn't know, but she was a big photographer herself, and likes to shoot video, and likes to shoot.
And she works in a
stills,
salon. Right.
Stills more. Yeah, she's into makeup as well.
Yeah.
She's makeup artistry.
She does a great job.
And that's the way it is in entertainment. You got to be a jack of all trades.
Oh, you have to. Yeah.
You got to hang out a lot of buckets to catch a lot of rain.
Right. Right.
So, yeah, that was a thrill. We just had such a good time with her. Yeah. She was fun. She was fun the night when we went out to Yoga Hosers.
She just loves Kevin.
And she was a booster
She's a big booster.
Thank
you, Marilyn.
And she thanked us for including her, and really we should be thanking her
for taking time out.
Yeah. So
because I don't know, they're so busy there. It seems like everyone just has the next thing going on.
Oh my God. Yeah, because she had something going on next
afternoon.
We could shoot. Oh no, we can't because you got to go.
Yeah, she had stuff to do.
So then we went back. We packed up. We got ourselves settled to leave, and the next morning.
But we went to Venice Beach before we left.
Yes, last stop was Venice Beach, and it's funny because Big Daddy Jimmy V sent me a text. He's like, "You guys should go see Venice Beach."
It was worth it.
You know what? I think we'll go do that.
It was really nice.
And after the hour drive,
was it an hour?
About an hour drive,
really?
Even though it's not that far.
It didn't seem like it should have been that long.
We got to check out Venice Beach and shot a lot of B-roll, but man, there's like homeless shanties.
That's like the
villages all along Venice Beach, and it made sense because if you're going to be homeless, why not be homeless in Southern California where the weather's always nice?
A lot of artists.
Yeah, there's a lot of artists.
It's like a lot of people watching. That's the place to go. Just sit there and people watch.
Apparently, though, you don't go there at night.
Oh, not a nighttime place.
So
right. It was close to. I thought it was close to Maryland's, but I guess really not.
No, it's nowhere near Maryland's.
Yeah.
Maryland's was actually closer to where we were staying in North Hollywood.
Yeah.
So then we did Venice Beach, and finally while we were shooting Maryland, this was actually kind of cool. Because it became a huge sort of distraction.
Oh, yeah. It happened like right in the middle, and I had to blurt it out. I couldn't not say anything.
And so Gene received a text or an email from, was it Christian?
It was Christian, and his name is Christian.
Yes.
And he is,
he's Kevin Smith's assistant. He's his new assistant. And we weren't sure if Christian was a boy or a girl.
Well, I knew he was a boy, because Christian is a boy's name.
Kristen.
Kristen is a girl's name. Christian has always been a boy's name.
Yeah, you're right.
Christian Slater.
And he's always had female assistants, so it just seemed like, there's a male assistant now.
Yeah. So anyway, I get this email saying, can you... actually, no, it wasn't from Christian initially. It was from Jordan.
Oh.
Jordan said, how is
it's
Sunday...
It's funny, too, because, again, every day I was sending out these texts to Kevin, like saying, here's what we're doing, here's our itinerary. And on the last day, I was like, well, we're doing this in the morning. We're shooting Maryland in the morning, and then we're free in the afternoon. This is sort of our last chance. We'd love it if you can make time for us, but if not, that's fine. Whatever.
We're going home tomorrow.
Yeah, we're heading home tomorrow.
So it must have been a response to that because Kevin must have gone to Jordan and said, "Listen, this is what I'm thinking anyway. That we need to get Scott in. Give him this message." So basically, I got a message from Jordan saying, Sunday. You have a 15-minute window, and this is a hard stop.
Which is like, whoa.
Hard stop at 4:00.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Kevin,
here's the way I go. Comic Book Men was wrapping.
Right.
On Sunday here
in Red Bank.
In New Jersey, in Red Bank. And then he was jumping on a plane and going to Toronto to go do Supergirl and Flash.
Isn't that cool?
Where apparently he's going to be up there for a while.
So he gave us like his last little bit of time before he left.
Window.
It's so cool and so nice. So I had to blurt that out.
Very honored.
Scott's interviewing Marilyn, and Jason's got the camera going, and he's all moving around. I'm like, oh my God. And I had to blurt it out. Like I couldn't not. I said, so Kevin,
and when you
Sunday,
hear it, it's like 15 minutes, but you're like, well, that's all I get. That's all I get.
Yeah.
I mean, so there was no question that we were going to accept that offer.
And absolutely, yes. And is that cool? Absolutely cool. That was my response. And yes, it's perfect. We'll be there. We'll be ready. And that's, the best thing ever. Because it made leaving not so bad.
Yeah, it made it a little better. Because we were very sad about leaving.
Because we felt like we wanted to do more.
We liked it there.
Yeah.
It's a place we could see us
Yeah.
live.
But our pocketbook was saying, okay, time to go.
Yeah.
Vacation is over.
There's a lot of fringe benefits of being there. Let's face it. Legal greenage is not I mean, the medical state of things there seems very attractive.
And it's very, I don't know. It's like when it's just better.
Yeah.
It's just better. So coming back to New Jersey was...
It's expensive.
Something to look forward to, though.
The gas is expensive, but it didn't seem like everything else was.
Yeah, but Big Daddy
Food
Jimmy
seems
V's
cheap.
Yeah, Big Daddy Jimmy V's car was so good on gas.
9 gallons in the tank.
Man,
fill
the
it.
Kia Soul. That's my next car.
From a 3/4 tank. It was like 3/4 drained. I threw 9 gallons in.
And my friend Margaret reminded me of it's called the Alien. The color is Alien.
Okay.
The green color.
Yeah, we'd get that car. I think.
Definitely.
It's a cute little buzz around town.
Yeah. So our flight home was great.
Yeah,
there was no problems. It was a little annoying, just the being.
Yeah, like both times we had to fucking wait for a gate. Both times we landed. This has become like a thing. Like you have to wait a half hour on the ground for your gate to open.
Yeah, but we're not used to flying, so we need to. Yeah, we need to kind of get it together and be more patient. With that.
I was pretty patient, but after a half hour sitting on a tarmac, not being able to get off a plane.
I know.
That's bullshit.
It's hard, but we have to. So then we got out. We had a car waiting. Thank you, Stephen. And, the guy was awesome.
Yeah, we got home, and then we recuperated for a day.
Yeah, and we had to put the heat on. We had to put the heat on in the car.
Yeah, the car. And I had to tell the guy, I said, can you maybe turn the heat on?
And the driver was like, whoa, you're used to that L.A. weather, man, aren't you?
I guess I did.
Because it was a little cool.
It was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was good you had your Delta blanket.
And then we were worried about this hurricane that's coming, which never came.
Freaking out about Sunday, like, oh my God, now it's a hurricane. Great, what are we going to do? This is the story of our life. We're never going to get Kevin. Blah, 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 blah.
So Saturday, I sat around and uploaded footage all day and kind of just relaxed and recuperated.
We did. And it was weird kind of feeling.
Yeah, it was. And the day, Saturday blinked by.
Yeah, the last couple of days have since we've been back, just because.
Yeah. And then Sunday was the big day.
It was, and it was confirmed, and everything was good.
So yesterday we got to interview Kevin for a
podcast
movie.
And
we ended up getting about a half hour easy
and he
on
left,
film.
And he was,
he was very gracious. He was very nice.
Put his hand up.
First, we were going to film over in what you see is the Comic Book Men segments,
right.
like the behind the scenes segments, but we weren't able to secure that room. They were worried about, essentially that is AMC's room. It's their studio. They rent that building. So they needed to... We didn't actually have permission to shoot there. So very quickly, and we were hoping we could because it's already lit and yada, yada. But that wasn't the case, and so I walked into what seemed like a fight, or I don't know what it was. It was a little...
Well, and who came out to meet you, though?
Rob Bruce.
Rob Bruce.
It was so funny because Rob Bruce is coming out to get the director of the documentary. I guess he didn't realize. No one mentioned it was me.
No, because maybe they didn't know it was the podcast documentary.
Yeah, so Rob comes out. He's like, all right, I need the director over here. Kevin wants to see you. And then, I start walking to him. Rob goes, hey, Scott.
I know.
Good to see you. I'm like, hey, Rob.
God.
But I must have looked like a deer in the headlights. Because I felt like a deer in the headlights walking into that room.
Well, because you were walking in, what am I walking into?
Yeah. And so...
And then what was the picture, though? Because I wasn't there. You walk in, and what did you see?
Well, you walk in, and there's a lot of, behind, what would look like a behind stage. And then there's a faux wall, a big wall. And you have to go around that wall to get into what is the set.
And did you go into the set?
Yeah, and that's the set where you see the table.
Oh,
and,
so it's right there.
The Christmas lights and everything. And, but then there's, crew, and I saw Brian Johnson is in there, and Walter, all the comic book men are in there, but also crew members, Kevin's makeup people, and so Kevin is talking to, I guess, the AMC people, and they're pushing back, I don't think you're shooting in here would be a good idea, and it seemed a little tense.
So you had walked into
and then I walked
into
this tense situation, and I'm like, well, we're staging gear outside, so we're going to shoot outside? I'm like, no, we were just prepping to come in here, but we assumed we were shooting in here. And then he's like, do you have an alternate location? He looks at me, I'm like, no. Never have I felt so unprepared.
Now, but Christian took the blame for that in that case, because what happened was, I think it was between him and Jordan, and it was never cleared with AMC. So that was Christian's plan, was to do it there, because he's already there. Why not just do it there?
Yeah, and it's already lit. It's already done.
It just made sense to him, and AMC just has their own.
Of course, it's AMC's studio. It's AMC's sort of unique
their set.
Yeah.
So
and seeing it in some other movie would be like, oh,
it would be off-putting. It would be off-putting for people.
It might be. Well, it would be off-putting for them.
For them, and I think they were just protecting their space.
Quickly, oh my God! So we're frantically So Kevin's like, pick a place in the stash, and
that's what Kevin basically said.
Yeah, and then I just ran out, tripping over things like an idiot.
Yeah,
and
then he got his buzz on, and then came over.
We assume he got his buzz on. Yeah, we set up essentially in front of the blue mid-store counter that you frequently see on Comic Book Men, and we just shot him. I mean, he eventually came in, and he stood there. We got him mic'd up, and it was sort of I think I got essentially 3 questions, but the first one was okay, podcasting, go.
I know.
And he went for a good, 15 minutes.
Yeah. And he started right from the beginning.
And before, somewhere in there, I interjected another question.
Right.
And then as I felt like we were running out of time.
Well, and then Christian came closer to you and wanted to interrupt.
I held up my finger, so I got one more.
Yeah, and then Christian said something, and then Kevin's asking what time, and he's like, I got about 10 more minutes.
It was interesting, too, because Christian's like, if you could put my bag in the car. It was almost like he was sending him away so that he wouldn't step on the chute again. I didn't want to say that, but it felt like he was giving us a little breathing room by sending all the concerned parties out.
Well, and he wanted to make sure that he could go to the very last minute and just go into the car.
And that's essentially what he did.
He didn't want to have to remember a bag. He didn't want to have to remember any sort of equipment. He just wanted to.
So someone was waiting with the car running.
Yeah, someone was waiting.
And then his bag would be in the car.
And he just loves to talk.
So he went off. So Christian went off to do that, and then he gave us another 10 minutes.
He really did. And until the bitter end.
And
he gave us every moment he could. It was so great.
We didn't get We didn't get a group photo or anything.
Right. And his hair was
because
done.
He really had to go.
And he he had his makeup done and his hair was perfect.
As soon as we said cut, he started making for the back door for the stash. He was talking, he was saying, giving, great job, everybody.
Yeah, and
Thank
then
you so
we
much.
mentioned Big Daddy Jimmy V.
And
Why Not Con.
Okay, hang on. And I should say this because I told Big Daddy Jimmy V this, and he was very thrilled. But one of the things we said, we saw Big Daddy Jimmy V. We got to go to. Now, when I told him that we saw Big Daddy Jimmy V. He said, "Oh, he's a great guy." We told him he loaned us his car. He's like, that guy should be an honorary member of Hollywood Babylon.
Yes, and not have to pay. Oh my God, he said it.
Yeah.
And we do we have that on?
No, we don't. But it's our word.
Yeah, and then we told him that we saw Marilyn, and like two worlds collided.
And his face lit up too when we said, and we saw the Yoga Hose screening, and Marilyn and Big Daddy Jimmy V came with it. His face did. Legitimately light up and smile, and he was happy.
I know, and he was happy that like there was a connection. And what did he say as he was leaving?
I don't know. What did he say, Gene?
He said, "Great job, Scott."
Yeah. That made me feel good.
I know.
He said my name again.
I know. But now you know that he knows your name.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
I knew that.
But great job. It's like all of the things, and I know, I'm kind of like bragging on you a little bit.
And he did say, he said to me, like, he said, you're getting some great people for this. You guys are doing good.
But the thing is, too, like, you're doing all the things that Kevin talks about, and it's like coming true and he's seeing it.
I hope so. Well,
it's just, he's seeing that people are listening and people are actually putting into action. Whether, I don't know. It's just like, just do it.
I've said this before. I've been saying it a lot recently, but it's true. And this show, ultimately, the one thing that Kevin does provide for the show is a moral center. I purposely know that I would never want to say or do anything on this show that would bring embarrassment to Kevin.
Right.
Or, make this show sort of a negative stain on Kevin's reputation. So, to me, this was like coming full circle, and I'm so glad that he was a part of the movie, and that we can do honor to the man in the film. And I don't know, I try and do honor to him with the show,
right?
And now we can try and do honor to him with the film as well. So.
And I think he sees that, and I think it's working.
So it finally happened, folks.
It did.
Can
you believe it?
We got to sit down with Mr. Kevin Smith for the documentary.
And all our foiled plans and our expectations and our, and I have to honestly tell you, I knew it was going to take place at the Stash because that's Jersey. We're Jersey. He's Kevin. He's Jersey. That's
ultimately,
where...
I am so glad it did happen there because as a result, both our camera guys were, our DPs, Michael and Damien, were able to be part of the shoot with Kevin, which
they were able to shoot Kevin, and they were excited about that, and being able to shoot him, and you were able to direct Kevin Smith, and it's like crazy.
Which is direction is like podcasting.
Yeah.
Go,
just talk.
Three directions. I
swear to God, he talked for a half hour.
To tell you the truth, I think I sent him more direction in my text than I actually presented. While we were shooting.
Right.
But it was wonderful,
and I know that
it was a. It's done. We did it. I mean, it's so weird.
Words.
It's like, oh my God, we did it finally.
And thanks to the kids,
we did it. Yeah. Mamacita.
I don't think it was Mamacita.
No, I don't think so.
We did it.
Swiper, no swiping.
No swiping.
All right, anyway. And Dora can do it too. I'm the map.
The map.
All right, I don't know why we got.
I'm the map.
I know why, because both Kevin and us both had to watch a lot of Dora.
Dora, the Explorer. Anyway.
I know that Kylo Ren does not enjoy Dora. I'm going to have to kill her.
That's not nice. Well, thank you, sir, for that, because it's just a wonderful interview.
All right. Well, now is a good time to kick it over to our pick of the week.
Yes.
We're going to send, we've been, a lot of texts back and forth, a lot of shouts back and forth.
And a little chatty with Walter a little bit while I was there.
Oh, yeah.
Chitty chat.
True.
No, you cannot know what we were talking about.
But
anyway. It was very private. Me, Sunday Jeff, and Walter.
Yeah, they were having a talk while we were interviewing.
They're having a little
Kevin. So
mouth menage a trois.
Ew. Oh, that sounds a little dirty.
Well, talking.
That sounds very dirty. Come on. It sounds like you're back there licking your pussy.
Licking my own?
No, they were.
Oh.
This is dirty. We got to take this out.
No, they weren't. It's just the talking.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Well, mouth menage a trois sounds like three-way oral to me.
No, I take longer than that.
God.
It was like 3 minutes.
Anyway, God, this is derailed.
It was awesome.
Here's Testy Groupie's pick of the week, you perv. ThatMan on Fatman presents At Testy Groupies. Tell 'em Steve Dave. Pick of the week.
Hi, and welcome to the TSD Pick of the Week. So many things going on in this spot, I can't wait to listen to it myself. As for me, I'm still on vacation. Yes, Spain would seem to be so much like San Francisco to Walt. And even this is my TSD Pick 89, it's been 2 years of them. So it's been a little hard trying to prepare for this pick. So I thought, let's bring our main three guys and divert a little to a must episode, as this week's pick is SModcast 60, The Clone War. How could we not include Kevin in this week? And what a best episode than SModcast 1. Before TSD, Walt and Bry were creating classic moments in SModcast, and this is one of the most mentioned episodes when looking for them. The talk of the Stalin Man-Ape army brings up the clone talk, and Kev brings so many what-if scenarios that will never stop making you laugh. A must for any Kevin, SModcast, and Walt O'Brien fan. So, I hope you will listen to it, I hope you enjoy it, and you're all the way.
And there you have Miss Testy Groupie's Pick of the Week.
Another wonderful booster of...
Yes, we had a lot of good chats with her back and forth.
Yeah.
While we
excited.
Out west. Yes. All right.
Love you.
We've
Argentina.
talked way too much.
Yeah, I didn't want to hear us anymore.
You've heard this whole summary, which probably bored the tears out of you. I can't say I blame you, because telling the story is not nearly as fun as the experience.
As being in it. Yeah.
Listen to all the other shows that were on... that were at this event, the Why Not Con, the Afterburn.
Afterburns is crazy.
And the Dave's podcast and all these other shows, Flash of Two Worlds, to hear many of the things that we just talked about. I'm pretty sure the Flash of Two Worlds is up.
Right, it's the podcast of Two Worlds.
Podcast of Two Worlds, I'm sorry.
Which is
podcast
awesome.
of the Flash of Two Worlds.
I love Flash.
Then,
I told him to do a Supergirl one next.
And then there's the Afterburn show is up.
Yes.
That just dropped, and I'm sure more of the shows will be dropping.
Yeah.
I'm sure FYFC has discussed.
I think they have dropped theirs.
Yeah, so there's that out there. You can hear more about the con, and now you can hear this one.
Yeah.
I'm sure Big Daddy Jimmy, not Big Daddy, I'm sure Mr. BS show, their show in the zombie thing, that probably posted. I'm behind. Like while we were away, I think the only podcasts I listened to were Kevin's, because he dropped some good shows while we were out, and I think Rachel Maddow, just because we've been so pegged. So I have a lot of catching up to do on podcast shows.
Right.
Be a good week for that.
Yeah, a lot of editing.
While I upload and begin the arduous process, because now I can. It's always been the goal to get Kevin, because now I can edit to a certain point that's always been in my head. So I can do that now.
It's so great.
The real work begins.
Work.
All right, folks. We're sorry if the show was a little off our beaten trail, a little rambly, but we really wanted to share all this stuff with you. That is the underlying theme of this show. We hope that you guys get that. That, we know that not everyone can do all this all the time. They can't all, go to Vegas and all that. But we hope that you can experience it through us.
Right.
In some way, and we hope it fuels your passions and makes you want to podcast and travel and make movies and, chase whimsy,
just
as Kevin says. Say, why not?
Yeah, say why not.
As opposed to, why do that? Why not do that? And on that note, you're smart and good. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
something else out there, and just why are we here? Then I see the world will turn, and we must be its guide. Crazy dreams and nonsense schemes, dawn comes, we must reply. Powers from our mother earth, they'll blow us to our knees. While our souls do bind as one, come join us if you please, if you please. Reading moments one by one and smirking like a thief. Sleeping through another night and deepening our peace. Genesis and matter's wake is coming from our sun. Living in this very moment, for this moment's done. But now I see the dawn will come, and we are all its guide. Crazy dreams and nonsense schemes, the Godhead in the skies. Powers from our mother earth is all we'll ever be. All our souls do bind as one, come join us if you please, if you please. Join another person's eyes, we worship at our shrine. Bursting flowers into bloom, there's no such thing as time. Powers from our mother earth will blow us to our knees. Twisting, turning, minds are burning, join us if you please. And now I see that I am just beginning its demise. Flashing bits of comic light that vanish from the skies. Powers from our mother earth is all we'll ever be. All our souls do bind as one, come join us if you please, if you please. If you please. If you please.
There he is. It's that man standing over Blood Alley Square, protecting us all. Go!